How's it? I'm Honan,
I'm Oliver.
and this is the Kpop Podcast, episode 10. My favorite number. So this is perfect. Favorite number, and then at the end of the year, we're also doing that. We're talking about our top 10s in episode 10. What are the odds? Literally did not plan that, but it all fell into place perfectly somehow that way.
That's incredible, really. And we're recording this on the 20th, which is 2 10s because there's two of us.
Yo, dude, wow.
It's actually the Illuminati.
Actually, it is the 20. It's the 21st almost for you, huh?
Almost in half
Almost.
an hour.
We're right there. It's so close. So to give you guys an idea what this episode's gonna be about, this isn't gonna be like our normal 3-topic format. Really, we're kind of in general going to talk about our top 10 songs of the year, and then like best boy group, girl group releases, songs of the year, best videos of the year, and then summarize at the end who we think our artist of the year was. Just to give you guys kind of the synopsis what's going to happen. So I guess the best way to start would just be to kind of go through our list, maybe from 10 to 1, you think?
Yeah, should we go like my 10 and your 10, or should we go like each of our separate 10s to 1s?
Maybe each of our 10s to 1s would be good.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess I'll start first with that. I have NCT Favorite at number 10. Okay,
NCT
that
127.
NCT 127. Yeah, I sometimes forget when I say NCT. I'm doing a very broad brush.
Yeah.
So I guess stroke would have been the word there. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Favorite was a surprise one for me because at the end of it's very close to the end of the year that came out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know, dude. I think it's the chorus that made it like end up on my list. That "Sarang Hey Baby Sarang Hey," the opening like MIDI thing too. It's all very catchy. Like
it feels like a really kind of classic SM R&B track.
Yes,
right. It's like such a. It's one of those. It sounds like a real SM staple song with like the male harmony and that R&B influence, and just like smooth, great vocals. Like, yeah.
It's surprising because most of the time I don't really love the chill vibe stuff all the time. Like sometimes it has to be something super super catchy, which the chorus in this one was. But like the MIDI from the start, it opens with that little like little kind of, it's almost, is it like a whistle you describe that sound as or something? It's a weird MIDI sound, but it just works. The video, obviously, with the vampire theme, love it. It was perfect.
Yeah.
And then so for number 10 for you, we have God, I feel like I butchered the name all the time. Anypen, is that how you say it?
Oh, for my number 10, yeah,
Enhypen, Drunk Dazed. Yeah.
Drunk Days. Yeah, so I wasn't like massively convinced by Enhypen to begin with after they debuted, but they had a really, really solid year. And Drunk Days was just like yeah, as soon as that song starts in such a great way, like, and just as soon as you hear that, I was just in. And then the chorus, it just builds to this unbelievably good chorus with like really cool choreo. They do this like zombie thing, and it's like, yeah, there's so much energy in that. But then the bridge gives you the perfect time to breathe, builds it back up. Yeah, it's everything I wish boy groups did more of. And then they kind of did a similar style and like another enjoyable song with Tame Dash later the year. Everyone loved Fever from the album, which Drunk Days was on, but I still think Drunk Days reigns supreme for me.
Certainly wins best title.
To come. Yeah, definitely a lot that I'm excited to see from them in the future, for sure.
Nice. That one I saw on the live. Unfortunately, for anyone who's like trying to see some of these on the channel, like, oh, when was the Gus React video to this? A lot of some of these things will be something that was seen on the lives versus like the main channel, Which is interesting. A lot of like the favorite stuff that ends up making it on the list usually is like something that we watched at like 9 o'clock at night randomly in one of the lives on a Friday.
Several beers in, yeah.
So number 9, I now, because I'll tell you guys when we get to number 1, have WJSN The Black Easy, which easily could have ended up much higher on the list, but there were some things that happened so close to the end of this year that just totally messed up what would have been my list if it was earlier or in the middle of the year. But yeah, the bass line and then the like leather jacket vibe thing from the video that I watched for this, I don't know, there's just so many things that sold me on this. But it's you know when it does that little, it's just easy, like like that. There's something about the way that groove right there happens that just instantly sells you on the song, like when you're listening to it.
It makes you want to slide down and start shaking your ass. Like the vibe it has is perfect.
Yeah, and then the like even the verse still like it's all paced perfectly, leading you into that chorus. Unlike some songs where I like verse or chorus better than each other, Easy's a complete song where I enjoy each part for what it is. And then sorry, I have to scroll over. I should have fixed this before, but so now at number 9 I have your list, Yukika Love Month.
Yeah. So Yukika had a really solid year for me. She released 2 really strong EPs, and she had a bunch of other songs as well. I could have also chosen her collab with Patlock, The Moment, which was also a great tune. But this Love Month, I think, is like Yukika at like the peak of her city pop powers. Like again, that song just starts to be, it's just like, and just poof, everything comes in this like brass, this like, it's so upbeat. But then as soon as that instrumental fades, it just leaves you with this, just her like honey sweet vocals over this really chill beat, and then it slowly comes into the chorus again, which has this like same, it's not like this downcast thing, it's like very upbeat for her. It's not like driving through a city in the rain, it's driving through a city after you've just been at your loved ones type vibe, right? And it's like it's perfect for everything that she is. And I love that she's had this clear niche carved out for her as being the city pop girl. And obviously city pop is a big genre and there's a lot of artists doing it and doing it really well, but she's definitely a standout, and it would have been a crime for me not to put at least one of her songs in after how much I've enjoyed so much of it. So yeah, Love Month is the highlight for me for what she's done this year.
I know that for anyone who hasn't been in the lives before, like we love city pop a lot. Like there's been lives where I feel like we just go down a complete city pop rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
She had one that wasn't that city pop like style too, right? If I'm trying to remember, there was 2 videos we watched in the lives, I remember, in the same live of her. But there was like another one that was more like ballad, would you say, or something? I'm trying to remember.
I know the one you mean, and the video was just like her kind of walking around and looking really cute, right?
Yeah, that was the first one of hers I remember checking out, and then we checked out the city pop one. And I was like, oh, okay, this is sick. Like, but yeah, I remember the first one being like a bit of a different style.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely they're all within that umbrella, but I think city pop is quite a broad genre, really. There's quite a lot you can do with it.
Yeah.
And she actually just had a song come out the other day with Noctu, so which was pretty cool because it was hearing a male voice on there as well, so it was nice seeing both of them together. Another really good release. I hope that she gets the recognition she deserves, because she's still kind of roaming around in Nugudum. But yeah.
So now at 8, I have Oh My Girl, Dun Dun Dancing. Dude, This is like I could put this one so much higher. I could put this to number one. Not even like, but I don't know. It's difficult. It's difficult decisions. So Dun Dun Dance, like I probably maybe heard Dun Dun Dance more than any K-pop song this year. Like I'm trying to think. I don't know that I like the amount of times in lives that we watched different performances of it, the amount of times that it came on while I was driving. My favorite like Oh My Girl song by far, and like the one of the only times where something that you could describe as cute, like very cute and bubbly, just is like one of my all times like songs.
Wow. And you didn't
So
even
it's
like it that much when you first heard
I
it.
know.
Look what happened.
Like it like attached to my neck and just like wormed its way in. It's like
Yeah. It took a bit of time for me as well. Like I did like it when I first listened to it, but I wasn't like blown away by it. But I often think that there's some songs where there's one particular bit that does so much for the overall song, even though the actual part is just a few seconds at most, right? And for Dun Dun Dance, it has to be the feel so high.
yeah,
you know,
Seunghee's note part, right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
he does it in the first two choruses, and Jiho does it in the last one. It's just, yeah, it's the song wouldn't be the same without just that tiny detail.
No, and then there's the baby, give me baby, you know, the little rap thing.
Mimi's
this
bits.
song. Like it's so I don't know.
This song.
God, now that I'm thinking about it, I want to put it so much higher, but it's like it is just instant joy, like I would say, like when it comes on, you're just like,
it's such
great.
a mood maker, that song. And Oh My God for the last 2 years have been, maybe even since Remember Me, have been building their songs a lot more on the back of Mimi. So Mimi the rapper has she has more to do, rather than just kind of like a token rap verse in there somewhere. Instead, she has like continuous parts throughout the whole song.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the time that makes for an overall like catchier song. It's only more like a poppier song, because you don't really get that in some of their older songs, right? Where it's like the songs are more ethereal and have a different vibe to them. Yeah, you can't. It's very difficult to listen to Dun Dun Dance and not be immediately happy.
No, and you guys know sometimes how I feel about cute, bubbly songs and stuff, and that one was like just so good that it was like, okay, I am embracing what is happening here. So then now when I go over to you, we have WJSN Yala at number 8. And I didn't remember this one when you showed me in the live, but now I do since we checked it out again.
So one of my favorite WJSN songs and one of my favorite K-pop songs period is Pantomime, which is just like a wild creation of song, and it uses all these different like polyrhythms, and it has this like really cool like harmonic shifts and melodic shifts and stuff in it, and it's such like an experimental and interesting song to listen to. And I was really hoping when Unnatural was announced that they were going to do something similar in there somewhere, and Yala was that. Just like the way that song builds up and then how it turns into this like full like choppy instrumental drop. They have like the ya illa and it just turns into this like crazy like polyrhythmic beat, and it's like,
they use her to bridge the part together, which is really like memorable when you're listening to the song.
Yeah, and that's what the song is called in Korean. It's just
and then they were like, all right, we need like a different title in it.
Yeah, just some onomatopoeia as the title. But yeah, it's such a interestingly crafted song, and it's hard not to just like want to vibe when that song is on. But then it still shows what like makes WJSN great, in that it has like EXE obviously is a really strong rapper, and she always has. I can't think of a WJSN song that she's on where she doesn't come through with a good verse. Like she's constantly killing it. And then at the end we have like these belting high notes from Yeonjung and Soobin. It's like, yeah, it's hard not to just see all of those parts coming together and appreciate it. So that's why it's on my list.
Nice. I just realized we both have technically WJSN in some form on our list, even though I have a subunit technically. But.
Yeah.
So now we're on number 7, and gosh, I mean, I put Sunmi Narcissism, and the reason is because I didn't put Borderline again, because I had already put it in 2 other lists from when she had the older release of the music video, you know? So I felt like, it's technically re-released. Yeah, it's kind of cheating. And Narcissism is like that next one I can put there, because when I listened to the album and I listened to it all in order, that the way Narcissism connects to Borderline in the album is like why I had to put it there. Like, that's what makes me enjoy the song so much, is that anticipation of Borderline coming on right at the end of it. So it's my way of kind of cheaply putting Borderline into the list again, technically still.
After everything we've given Sunmi, I'm sure she can allow us this. She can make room for us to do this. So no complaints.
So now when I go over to your number 7, I really like this song as well. Oh My Girl, My Doll.
Yeah. So My Doll was such an unexpected song to hear on the album, on the Dear Oh My Girl album, as it's called. Just the energy of the album takes a break overall of it for My Doll, and it has just this like beautiful vocoded vocals going on in the chorus, and like in the verses it's this like really subdued like reverb. I wouldn't even say it's like reverb, there's like effects and filters on the vocals that make them sound very like discordant. It's and that's why they did the Halloween video for it, I think. But it's just the this like constant like kind of motif as well, just like the I'm so sorry, just hear like I'm so sorry, and then like when they have this like vocoded choppy instrumental bit after the chorus, it's like they have that in there as well, and it just, you can feel so many emotions when you listen to that song. I mean, I certainly do. There might be for personal reasons as well, but it's I think that song is beautiful, and I love the creativity of something like that. I love when you have like vocal effects and things making the voice an instrument in different ways. So
it's a good song that shows kind of like the spread of like genre that they can do, because you had like Dun Dun Dance and that in the same year, in the same calendar year, you know. It's like very opposite vibes that you're getting
on the same album.
And that song, like you're saying, feels almost like a experimental like K-pop song or something, like something you would get like from like if a metal band suddenly did a prog song on their like release, you know. It's like a little bit going out off of what they know and usually would do. So now I have number 6. Sorry, I got a little confused there because I had to move things around because of what I had at number 1. But number 6, I have Dreamcatcher because.
Okay. So how did you think about Because when that came out compared to previous Dreamcatcher title tracks?
Well, see, but I can't think of it like that. I got to think in context of the year, because obviously, like, AOTY, and if AOTY and something released this year against Because, then I would obviously choose AOTY, or, you know, but I just feel like Because did AOTY release this year and I'm a dumbass?
Yes.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh!
AOTY was January 26th this year. I just checked.
I was so convinced without even looking that was last year. I was like, that couldn't have been this year.
I would pick Because over AOTY.
You know, personally. I would pick the video over AOTY, because I everyone who's watched the lives, everyone knows why. I think I have to give it to Because too, because something special happened where GU became part of my holy trinity, like squarely because of how the look she had going on in this video. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know how to describe
Nothing
it,
at all
but...
to do with Joy's dating news.
No, of course not. I- no, because is still a great, like, a great song, because the da 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 da, like, it's super catchy when I think about it, you know. Because I like dun, 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 dun. And you know whose parts make that song for me in the song is Sua's, you know, the kind of softer, like, I'm trying to remember when it happens in the song, but dun 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 little section, and it has the little background like rolling vocals. That part of Because is like one of my favorite sections I could grab from any Dreamcatcher song. That specific section of the song.
Yeah, it was a real I wouldn't say a real departure, but it was certainly a departure from the style that they'd done previously, right? It wasn't as hard on the nose as pretty much all of their other title tracks, and it kind of veered more into the territory of the stuff that you would hear on some of their albums, where it's not, the focus isn't about being rocky. Yeah, I think it was a really strong release, and I think I'm very interested now to see what they do next, if they continue to go down a road like to try and, because they got more attention in Korea with this song than they had with any of their others. And I do wonder if then that will factor into if they try and do something similar and keep trying to make Korea pay attention to them for once, or if it's going to be like, let's go back to our roots and do what the fans really want. Yeah.
I would appreciate if they did what the fans really want. You know, I feel like they have just like, they have like a place that they fit into because of like being unique in that way, you know? Versus just trying to fit into the mold of like K-pop in general. I don't know. I just feel like I appreciate like their catalog. I feel like I appreciate a lot of it more than I do like if they started trying to just release something that would make them popular, you know.
Yeah, but it was still a very much a Dreamcatcher song, right? Like you couldn't hear that song coming out from someone else. It still had their character to it, which I think is the most important thing. Yeah.
So now for you, at number 6, we got Super Junior House Party.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Suju is in such an interesting spot because I feel like they just keep getting better. Or they keep having just like such fun and good releases. When every time I think, well, maybe Suju is finally done, you know, maybe it's finally time for them to start moving on or whatever, they come together and release like something that's so good. And House Party for me was everything I love about K-pop songs. Everything I love about whether boy group or girl group, doesn't matter. It was just like such a fun idea, such a cool concept, right? Because the song being about COVID, and sadly still very relevant. And then the fact that it's built up in just such like such distinct parts, right? How you have this like happy kind of funky song, which was those same kind of elements that we've heard in K-pop songs for a year or so now, right? Like those kind of old school funk bass lines and like clinky guitar over the top of it that's like fun and just reminds you of the old times and whatnot. And then the siren starts and it just turns into this like trap song out of
he's
nowhere.
got like sniper rifles and the vehicles come slamming in, or don't they come in on a Jeep or something?
Yeah, when Heechul enters the song in that with his rap in that part, and like it's just, the whole thing just the whole vibe changes, and then it just and then the way they bring it back to what it was like before with Eunhook's like mini dance break and then him going skirt skirt. It's just like, it's just shameless fun, and I like that's exactly what K-pop songs should be. They should be able to just have fun, even with a serious message underneath it. And yeah, I mean, there's so many parts to that are just so well done. I love the chorus of it. I love the way that they all sound together. At the end, like Yaesung pops off with the vocals. Like, yeah, it's just a great. It just shows everything that Suju is great at. All of them did such a good job on it.
Yeah, Super Junior in this later half of their career, like, because Black Suit is definitely like considered like the later half of their career. Obviously, it's not that long ago,
Yeah.
right? It's
2017 Backsuit, I think.
yeah, that is like one of my all-time favorite K-pop songs. Like I like and like you would think in like their really long catalog, you know, they're still making a song that slaps like that, you know, that much later. So it's pretty dope.
16 years in.
So that was your number 6. So now I'm at my number 5, which is going to be Dream Note Ghost. So this is one of those ones that definitely showed up late, but it showed up. And it was just like,
how it showed up.
Yes. That's like, you know what I think sells it so much for me is like the whisper thing that happens at one point
after
like,
the first chorus.
There's something about when that kicked in, I was like, oh, I like this song, you know, like in the it's I don't know, it's the video really sold me on it too, because when you guys were like, oh, you're gonna love this song, and then the video had a very trippy vibe to it, I guess is how I would describe it. But yeah, as we were listening to the song, I was obviously enjoying like all elements, but then when it specifically got there and went da 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 and goes like into the part, you know, like perfectly solidified it for me. That was like, okay, this is something sick.
Yeah, I mean, so I think this is the one song that's on my list as well. So I guess I'll talk about it here as well, rather than bringing it up again in a short while. So obviously it's like, it's harder for Paige's Dream Notes fandom because of how long we waited. It was almost 2 years. So their last release was in January 2020. So like we had to wait over 660 days or something for this. And it's so different to what they've done before as well. Like the vibe is totally different. But we were so blessed to have them come out. Like, I mean, to have them come back at all, I think it was one thing, because Dream Note aren't a famous group, right? Like they're not popular, either internationally or in Korea. But for them to come back in this way, I think was perfect, and they really showed how versatile they are, because you have like strong rap sections in that from VOTY and UI, neither of whom are like the main, well, I guess like they're not like rappers, right? But they both came through. And they have really strong vocalists, especially Miso and Lara, and both of them had a really good chance to shine. But so as well did Sumin and even VOTY's vocals as well. Like all of them had great parts. Now they had some beautiful harmonies, and then at the end, although it's kind of hard to hear in the mix, but Lara has like some crazy high note at the end of that song that's just ties it together beautifully. I love how long that song allows it to sit on what makes it good. It's like it has this chorus, and then it has that post chorus, which is too high for me to even attempt to replicate. But like,
it is. It's really good.
Which they are like whistling to get at, right? But it's
they use like a guitar along with that vocal melody too, like ding ding. But it's like not your normal like guitar tone. It's very like tinty, but it's on purpose. Like they're doing a very like sharp tinty guitar tone there to like just hit directly the same note as the vocal. Dun 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 when it does it. It's very, all the elements of that song are super enjoyable to listen to. Like, and took me by surprise when you guys showed me older Dream Note, and I was just like, what the hell? I was like, what? You know, I was like, how did we get
members and a different concept? Yeah, just completely different.
I do hope they get a lot of popularity from this song to build them to a future.
They did they won an award today.
Nice.
They won. There was a Hallyu Star Awards, which tends to be an award show which gives out lots and lots and lots and lots of awards. But yeah, so they picked up an award there as like a Rookie of the Year award, which I found really funny because like they're technically a 3-year-old group. I wouldn't really consider them rookies, but
Let's just let everyone believe they're rookies, and this was the release, and then maybe they'll skyrocket from there.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so now, sorry, I gotta swipe back over. Now, number 5, you have King Daniel Digital. And so, sorry, before you start this, I just want to say, we did a top 10 of like everyone in our Discord and stuff, and King Daniel got a lot of love. Which, granted, he had some sick releases this year. I was just amazed. Like, King Daniel was like on almost everyone's list.
Yeah. So this release, I was not expecting Kang Daniel. From what I knew about what Kang Daniel was like, because I knew him as that guy in 101 who like won the whole show, won Produce 101, the boy version, Brogies as we call it, and is like known for his dancing. Like that was his the thing he was known for. I wasn't really sure what to expect of him as a soloist. Especially after he started his own company and like was being his own CEO and stuff. For him to come out with the songs that he did on that album was very unexpected, but like such a pleasant surprise. And Digital was the one that really stood out for me because it has this like, it's this very like new wave song where it's like his vocals are kind of drowned a little bit. It's like they're not coming through super clearly, and it has this like this beat again, but it's not mixed like super crisply. It's like it's meant to be kind of sullen and has like this grittiness to it, which I just love. Like I adore that style in general, like the new wave synth pop type style as we talked about before. But the way he did it was just like so good. And I hope that he remains in that kind of style for a while, which I think we've seen his other releases tended to be kind of thematically similar to that as well.
Is Antidote the other one that I'm thinking of?
Yes.
Yeah, so Antidote's the one I remember checking out as, oh yeah, Paranoia, that's right. Okay, yeah. Antidote's the one I really remember like checking out in the live a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so King Daniel, to me, like when I think of him, it's strange because I never knew 101 really well or whatever, and then it was always like I was confused the first couple times we watched him, and it was like, so he's a solo artist, and then someone was like, yeah, he's X101, and I'm like, what the hell is that? You know, it's like
yeah. I mean, energetic must have come up at some point.
Yeah. No, I'm
so high to get so...
like now I have an understanding, but when I think of like the past, first checking him out, I was always like very confused because it was like I was always calling him a solo artist, and it's like he is, but he was X this, and it's like, oh, okay.
And then you knew him as the guy who was dating Jiho.
yeah, that might be the first thing I remember learning. Yeah. So now at number 4, we're on number 4, right?
Yes.
So now number 4, I have got another great one, Pixie Bewitched, which is another one towards the end of the year that just kind of was like, boom. Because I was for sure like throughout the whole year, I was like WJSN, The Black Easy, GWSN, Breathe. I was like, these are like top 10, these are here to like stay, and then these songs just like slammed the door like on that like right away for me, like because of course I also thought Addicted was cool, but Bewitched just has that just edges a little bit song wise, you know, for me just edges up a little bit more for me. I don't know if it's the same for you, but yeah. And then the choreography, like the crazy backwards, like it's almost like The Exorcist.
Yeah, Pixie have really taken their concept head on, and I love that. Like after the first release, I think we talked about this before. Is like they had a good title track in Wings, and they had like a better album song in it was New Moon, I think it's called. And then the same thing here. Like Addicted was a good title track, I'd say better than Wings, and then Bewitched took that to another level again. I love the way that they do that with, I think it's with Satbel's voice, and they make her voice like really low pitched in that transitioning from the first chorus into the second verse. Just like it has such a cool vibe to it, and just the way that the bass works in that song especially, it's just like it appeals to that kind of like guttural
yeah, the MIDI slams through the whole song perfectly. There's like when you have heavier MIDI like that and it's just constant throughout, like that just gets like, that's what really gets me pumped. Like
it gets you in, it hits you down here somewhere. Like
it does. It's very guttural feeling. You're just like, oh my god, when it comes on, you know.
It's a very very cool song.
The Addicted video was amazing as well. And as a title song, I was like, yeah, this is super sick. But like you're saying, like I would have loved if Bewitched was like the main release, because I feel like there was just something about it just better. I don't know. It's just better. Like there's
it is that's what it comes down to ultimately. It is just better.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So, I was curious because I thought that me and you both might have had that one, but me and you both had.
It was very close. It was very, very close for me for being on there. After we do this, I'll talk about my my honorable mentions, because Pixie Bridge would be it would have been my 11th.
So number 4 would have been Dream Note Ghost. Do you want to do an honorable mention in your number 4 slot?
Well, no. So I'll do my honorable mentions after I do the top 10s. But yes, my number 4 is Dream Note Ghost, which we talked about already, so we don't have to touch on it again.
All right, so let's skip up to number 3 here then. So number 3, I put Taemin Advice, and the intro alone is enough for me. I don't know, like. This is one of those ones we'll wait till we talk about like music videos and everything, so we'll keep it more based to the song. But yeah, the piano intro is like just slaps instantly. But the dancing, the choreography is one of those things that also for me makes it just one of those, like, you know, Taemin's little
it's Taemin, you know, like you have to just expect it at this point from him, right? I think the thing that kept it from, so I didn't like it too much when I first heard it, but it grew on me a lot. But I think the reason was that I was holding it to such a high bar, especially because even the parts that he'd done for the rest of this massive project of releases he'd been doing, so like the other titles from that, Criminal and Idea, I loved both of those so much. It was hard for me to think that something could come out that could top it, and then so Advice didn't top those in my eyes. But it certainly did grow on me. I love the notes he goes to in the chorus, and then how that piano kind of changes, shifts up a key and stuff. It's just, it's a very well constructed song, and such a good note for him to have left us on. Can't wait for him to come back, of course.
How long is his service going to be, you think? Like 2.5 years or something? 3 years?
So the service length is 18 months. Oh. And he's already done like 6 months. I feel like it's nice. A year to go. It won't be too long till he's back among us.
To conclude on that song a little bit, the way he ties in, like, the way he's doing the verse, like that little quick, like, and it's perfectly tied into how he's dancing, I think is like one of his best abilities, where his choreography is so ingrained to at each syllable that he's like saying, you know. It's something unique about Taemin to me. Okay, so now we go over to your number 3. All right, so this is where Oliver's getting very artsy for us here. All right, this is which it is dope. Number 3, An Yeun, Sailing.
So An Yeun, for those who don't know her, she's a pansori singer. She's a traditional style Korean singer, but that doesn't mean her music is like folk music by any stretch of the imagination. And Sailing is one of her most not traditional style songs, because it has like a full-on like brassy instrumental section in the chorus. It, like, something that wouldn't sound out of place is like a drop to an EDM song. Like but yeah, so I always understand when I want to talk about Yeon that it's like not everyone is going to like the sound of her voice. Like the very like the traditional singing style is not going to appeal to everyone, and she has quite a high pitched, I would say nasally type of singing. But she has incredible range. Like she has a really low register as well, which she sings in as well. But a lot of the time, it doesn't quite appeal to a lot of people who are into your standard K-pop fare.
I actually like when she uses that lower range because it has like some type of. It's very her low range has a really unique like tone when she's like oh like going and building up. You know, like it's really dope.
Yeah. So Sailing, it's tough to choose between two songs of hers this year, and Sailing, I put here because it's, I guess, a simpler song and like one that just appeals to me on a more bass level because it has this really interesting melody for her voice in the verses with this like cool percussion, but not much else to it, and then it builds up and then just breaks down into this brass instrumental thing, which I can't describe in enough words. You have to just like hear what it sounds like, and then you have her like belting over the top of that, and it comes together beautifully, and just gets me so pumped whenever I hear it.
What was the one we checked out where she goes like completely just voice like a cappella in it?
So that's Nothing. It's called.
Okay.
So that's on her most recent album, which this song is not from that album, but yeah, that song is called Nothing. That's just a fascinatingly creative song, just purely different samples of her voice mixed together to create a whole song.
Yeah, she has that one like really stuck with me when we checked it out. Just like super unique, like from anything I listened to throughout the whole year, and it reminded me a bit of Queen's. Why do I always forget the name of the song? But Queen has a song where they do a full breakdown, like a cappella in the middle. Not Bohemian Rhapsody. Okay, it's from the same album, but it's not Bohemian Rhapsody. I know there was going to be someone in the comments. Do you mean Bohemian Rhapsody? No. Okay, so number 2, I have Sunmi Tail. Enough said. Don't really have to go into like. I mean, come on. It's like, did you think it could have easily been number 1 from the video alone? All right, so it's like, but I can hear that intro come on, you know, that little guitar and the bell like siren thing, you know, and just like instantly just happy. Like the second I hear that, you know, I'm just like, oh yeah, this is Sunmi, like just right away.
Yeah. Instantly perk up. Yeah. The intro to Tail is one of her best, I feel. I mean, she always has very strong intros to her songs. She knows how to get you. She gets like that fish hook in the mouth. You're you're in straight away. Like, yeah, but Tail. Actually, there was another one that grew on me more as a song. I think when I first heard it, I tried to re-register what it was I had just heard because I was so struck by what I had just watched. You know, it took a few listens without the video. But yeah, I mean, we talked about her in spades in the last episode. But yeah, I mean, Sunmi is Sunmi when it comes down to it.
I guess particularly about that song, it's like you know when she goes the da 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 like in between her little quick like quips in between doing baby you okay better die better bow ow ow ow, like to me those are the parts that really stick with me about that song where like when it comes on I start like even though I don't know the words perfectly I'm just like da 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 da
you want to do it,
you know. Yeah and she has
I
the cool little the chorus choreography for that one is one of those ones that's so Sunmi's style, you know, like it's like this is Sunmi when that chorus
it's very open and like a lot of parts to it. It doesn't take anything away, you know. It doesn't do like the sparse chorus where something is taken away and it just leaves the like just 2 parts or whatever. It's like none of that. There's going to be more to it. It's going to open up into something grander. It's easily could have been my number 1, but you guys will see when we get there. All right, so number 2, you have Yuha. Am I saying that right? Yeah.
Yuha.
Yeah.
A bit tipsy.
A bit tipsy. Yeah. So this song came out right at the start of the year. And immediately was like my song of the year contender. I was like, oh man, it's going to be hard for something to top this because it has everything I like in it. It's like it's a synthwave song and it's like unbelievably catchy and well done. But it shows as well like what a good vocalist Yuha is as well, because she has some crazy belts in that. Like the end of that, she sends up like glissando and then just hits this like nuts note at the top. But I wish that the rest of her songs this year had been of a similar vibe, because that was connected thematically to her debut song Island, which came out last year. They were quite similar. And I was thinking, man, if she's just going to release songs like this, I'm going to have an issue here. Like I'm going to really become a fan. And then I didn't as much like a lot of the other songs that she I did like them, but they weren't the same kind of style. I didn't like them as much. I think she but the great thing is that it's just stuff that she's doing. Like she's writing and producing this, and she's found herself a real interesting spot as a writer / producer, and often working with Ryan June, because she's popped up on Luna. She worked on Paint the Town. She worked on Bugaboo's debut as well with him.
That name, I'm sorry, that name hits me every time. Bugaboo, it hits me every time. So I don't know why.
Yeah, she's popping up all over the place, which is great, because it means that she's making money, because her solo music hasn't been doing as well. But I think of it seriously, it deserves a lot of credit for what just a perfectly executed pop song that is. It's so simple. It's just a song about being drunk. Doesn't fanny about, it's just here it is, just an immaculate little, and it's only like 2 minutes 50 seconds long as well. It's super brief. Just here you go, here's a great pop song, enjoy it. Okay. I still do.
So you said she had something to do with writing Paint the Town?
Yes.
One of your favorites.
I like Paint the Town.
No, I know. I remember it wasn't Paint the Town actually that I'm thinking of. It was what was it? Everglow's First that you gave me flack about.
Well, that was just because it went from La Di Da to that.
No, well, yeah, understandably. Yes. La Di Da was
in context
is goated as an all-time song.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on the number one section here, and so I had Perfect World as my number one, but obviously that's not exactly a K-pop song. It's a song from a K-pop group, but not a K-pop song, you can say, because it's a Japanese release. So I have what is my number one K-pop release, which is ITZY Mafia in the Morning. I don't know like how to. I was gonna do an Italian accent, and I realized I was gonna do an atrocious one, so I just like somehow ended up doing whatever that was. But yeah,
it's quite camp. I liked it.
This one, like, I don't know. I know that it just from the beginning had me, and it never lost me. And I know it's not that. I know not everyone was a huge fan of Mafia in the Morning, but for me, like, I never stopped enjoying that song from the second it released, and especially the live performances of it. There's a Mama performance that just happened that really reminded me why I like that song.
Valid. It's you say the same for Dun Dun Dance after that other performance the other day.
Yeah, that like KBS Song Festival one or whatever, right? Yeah. But it's from the second it starts that like Guess Who Loves You. It's Ryujin, right? Nah. Do I? Yeah. So that's like, it's one of the songs where the whole time I'm just like, every part that comes in, I'm singing along with it. Like, comes in right away and has her little kind of like rapish part.
Yeah. So it's such an interesting release, this one, because I remember when it came out, I think I listened to it and I was like, okay. I wasn't like, wow, this is amazing. And I wasn't like, I hate this. I was just kind of like, okay, this is an interesting direction. But it was one that JYP had his hands on, right? And I remember there was a lot of stuff of people like saying, JYP shouldn't produce songs anymore. JYP he shouldn't touch ITZY's music again, blah, blah, blah. And then like within a few days, a lot of those comments were going, actually, hang on. This is maybe I was too harsh on this one. And then they started saying, oh, actually, I kind of like it now. It was definitely a one that grew on people, I think. And for me, it still kind of sits in that, like, I'm not mad when I listen to it, but I don't go out of my way to listen to it. I don't, it's not my least favorite of their songs, which would be title songs anyway, which would be that award would go to Notch Eye.
How dare
um but but to be honest, like I've said before, like I'm not a huge ITZY fan in general. I think only Wanna Be and Loco are the songs that I really like from them as titles go. But yeah, it's it's an interesting one. But one thing that's ruined it for me now is the chorus. You know, the that bit. My brain,
you don't even know.
Yeah, my brain autofills Esper going do after that, and I can't hear it.
This came out first.
I can't. This all I hear,
doesn't qualify. Esper did it second. It doesn't.
But the songs are completely different. But my brain it auto completes. It's like the suggested word when you send a text. It's like all I can hear is the two of them combined, and I can't shake it.
It's I think we said it in a past episode. ITZY, when I first checked them out, I didn't think I was gonna be a big fan, and especially like because I think the second one was like Icy or something, right? And I was just kind of like I wasn't feeling the first two releases, you know. And like since then though, they like synced me and you just winded me right out of the water, dude. Like I don't know, it's like it's. Mafia in the Morning to me is like might always be my favorite of theirs. I don't know that they'll beat it for me in the future or something. The aesthetic, the vibe of the whole thing just is perfect to me for them, like style wise. And you know that part where it's like da da some babe, and they do like the choreography where they all rotate together.
Yeah.
You know, she kind of bends like this, and they all rotate out to the side. So to me, that's like one of the coolest parts of a choreography I've seen too, when they all do that in one rotation, you know?
Yeah, in a similar way to Taemin, like ITZY songs are really built around them dancing to them. I feel like more so than a lot of girl groups, right? It's like a lot of their songs have like a dedicated dance break, and they have like there's a lot of key moments that are connected directly to choreo in there, which is really cool, and it makes them great to watch, obviously. And it's crazy to think that I think in February is when they'll have their 3-year anniversary. Like they really haven't been around that long, and they've already had such a large amount of releases. It means that we have a lot more to look forward to from them, and I do wonder where they'll be. You know, are we going to see the kind of the tonal shift that we saw with Twice at some point, where they go into a different style, and if so, what? Like what will change, if they'll change? It's interesting to think.
If they
about.
start doing
I'll
like
always be curious.
The Twice shift, where Twice started doing like Can't Stop Me and stuff like that, I am here for it and I am ready. Like
very interesting.
This later half of like Twice made me a very big Twice fan. Like I think the first half of Twice had very catchy, bubbly kind of songs, and I was like, okay, I really like these are really good. Like the choruses are awesome. But there was just like that little thing missing for me, because like a little too cute sometimes, I would say, for me. And then like they just started like throwing out bangers like throughout the like back to back. Like I was like, oh, okay, like Feel Special, and like there's another one that I'm blanking on, Fancy and stuff, like, which still had cute. So there's just a little more to them, you know, a little more maturity, I guess you would say, as they were progressing on.
Yeah, but ITZY started off. It feels like they came out quite mature, right? They came out with like I guess they're more like Teen Crush was Dalla Dalla, right? But they're already at that stage where they're like doing like, I wouldn't say they're doing sexy concepts, but their charisma is very like sexy, right?
No, I totally get what you mean.
It'd be interesting to see, where they go from here. But I do think Loco is a really strong release for them. I was a big fan of that. So
I liked Loco, but it didn't have it's the mafia like Cherry Young's little like it's the mafia thing in the chorus. That kills me, dude. It gets me every time. All right, so number 1 for you, we have I'm the mafia. I don't know why I'm saying it's the mafia. Excuse me. Okay, so On Yoon, Changui. Am I saying that right?
Changui.
Changui. Okay.
Changui. Yeah. Or Changui.
That's
Yeah.
all of his
So
number one, ladies and gentlemen.
this is my number one. Yeah. Maybe unexpected for those who don't know me. So yeah, this was the other one I was torn between of my 2 year songs I wanted to put in this year. Also, not from her recent album. Her album is great, but doesn't have these songs on it. So this was it came out as, it was marketed as a horror single. So obviously I was immediately like, ooh, okay, tell me more. Because this is what made me a real big fan of her. I mean, she's been around for a few years, but this is what made me want to check out her properly and pay. I knew who she was, but I wasn't like super into her. And this is what brought me in. And this whole song is like one big crescendo. And I've always loved like a crescendo style music where it's something that builds and builds and builds and reaches some climax. And that's exactly what this does. It starts off just this, like, you hear these like wolf howls kind of, and just this like bass drum, just like this slow bass drum. And then she starts singing in this, like, the way that Pansori is, it's like it's a storytelling style of music. It's there to tell stories. And she starts telling the story of this like curse on a mountainside, and there's like talks of goblins and a god and stuff. It's very cool if you find the English lyrics to it. It's just it's like an old folk tale basically.
Yeah.
And then it just starts building. It becomes almost like a march. It just like has this like slow progression. You start hearing more coming into it. Then still has like a structure. It still has like a verse and a chorus and a verse and a chorus. It's not like completely.
Well, yeah, because I would say she does like modern twist on that traditional like pencil style. So they does still have like modern music vibe to the actual like music side of it, and then her voice is doing the like Pansori style over it.
So a singer that she reminds me of, or an artist that she reminds me of, is Joanna Newsom, Andy Samberg's wife, who is just someone that I've always loved. And like she has songs which are very similar to that, like folky and tell stories and along, and her voice is quite strange to listen to as well. It's a very similar kind of thing. And yeah, this song it keeps building. It has these like really like energetic choruses, and then it builds to this like where she just belts, just like proper. It's like almost like if she didn't have such control over her voice, it would sound like she was just screeching. But it's so like well executed. And one thing I love about Pansori in general is that it's completely okay for your voice to crack or not have like, it doesn't have to be perfect execution or anything. Like that emotion in it is encouraged, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, she has like an emotional rasp sometimes to her voice when she's pushing it right to that limit, because her range is crazy when we're listening to some of those songs. Like I was like, oh, she'll just no like build
out of nowhere,
and just hit you with it. Like, oh, okay, like we're there, we're here now. Okay,
it's nuts. And it ends on that. She just belts this thing out, and then you just hear the sound of a gong, and then it's just over. The song is just done, and it's just like you're there. I remember left listening to that, I had chills. I was like, wow, okay. Like I was taken on an experience with this, which is what I love about music, like how it can do that. So yeah, that's why Changui is my number one.
Nice. I would definitely tell people in here who haven't listened to her music. It's definitely very, very cool, especially if you like that like traditional Pansori like singing style. She does it in such a unique way, I would say, versus just like I know that there have been some K-pop songs that try to fuse like a little bit of that style in. Like Ravi had one where he's rapping and they fused it with the song stuff, but I would say
singing in the back,
she does it the most interesting way, I would say, that I've heard so far. It's very cool. Well, that is our top 10 songs of the year list. You guys could feel free to agree and disagree with our list, but at the end of the day, I don't care. So
Well, should I do my honorable mentions?
Oh, yes,
people can see if any of those, because I did a lot of these.
You had a lot of honorable mentions, and when I looked at when I was making yours in the Google Doc, I was like,
So as I was constructing this list, I was like putting them in. Some of them were floating in and out of my top 10. Like a couple of these songs had existed in my top 10, and then I went, oh yeah, no, I've got to put that in, and it changed. So I had Pixies' Bewitched, I had Ring Ring and Ride by Rocket Punch, You Can Sit With Us by Sunmi, Hua by Idol, Bad Love by Key, Lilac, Coin and My Sea by IU, Weekend by Taeyeon, The Realist, Beautiful Beautiful, My Name Is, and My Genesis Übermensch, all by On and Off, Unnatural and New Me by WJSN, Hello by Joy, Black Mirror and Luna by One Us, Love So Sweet by Cherry Bullet, Feel Like by Woods, Knock by Kwonjin Ah, Villain by Signature, Madonna by Luna, and Perfume by Yubin.
Madonna.
And you just remembered about Luna.
Dude, oh my god, that is such a good song. I don't know how I blanked on that. Yes, but everyone should go stream that song, because that song should have so many more views. That is such a good song.
Yeah, I mean, it's Luna from FX. Like, what are you waiting for? You know, like.
Yeah, the opening of that alone gave me like chills, dude. Like when you go up, like be like Madonna.
But it's such an interesting song, the way that that's built, because it seems like it feels like it could be 3 different songs, but it's just. It comes together so well.
Can I change my list right now?
Too late. It's locked in. You have no power anymore. It's on the internet.
I would have put that so high. Oh my god. I guess you guys already heard some of my honorable mentions as we were going through that, because like GWS and Breathe, I feel like definitely is worth being mentioned. And then I don't know why I'm blanking so hard, because I had it perfectly in my mind, and then you said Madonna, Luna, and my brain just like went, oh my god. Like, but yeah, and there was one I had like on the tip of my tongue. Bruh. Try and help me along with this.
I don't know how much more I can help, but I'll tell you I did a top 3 non-Korean releases.
Okay.
So I did number 3. I did Luna's Hula Hoop, their Japanese release, which I thought was great. Ooh la la la, ooh la la la.
Oh, that was really good. Yeah.
Such a fun song, and a cool video too. Number 2, I had Meng Meichi with Suffering. Meichi from WJSN, of course, but her solo efforts is a very dark, like gritty song, like very high bass and like filtered vocals and stuff. Just her like suffering, suffering, just very cool. And then number 1, I had Twice's Perfect World, because that is just like a masterpiece of a
I don't know
song.
how that wasn't number
like,
1 in your foreign releases. I mean, that is just like
that is my number 1 in my
it is
releases.
number 1. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, good, because I was like, that was like my number 1 song of the year in general, if we're talking about like just of the whole year, any genre. Perfect World is such a good song, dude. That made me like, my Twice fanboy level went like skyrocketing through the roof from that release alone. Like,
it's just, they just keep doing it, right? It's just like every release I'm like, oh, surely there's got to be a stinker. You know, there's got to be one that doesn't quite do it.
Mm-hmm.
And like they just, I don't know, they still got it. For sure.
It's that like da 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 and the little guitar, you know, get down, just get lost, like
that. Yeah, the way the chorus comes in, it hits the like that brass sting, and then it's just like that. Yeah, that get down, get lost. It's so catchy. It's just,
is it Momo who does that, right? Or it's like even the way she like dances at that part's so memorable too. There's like a way the like legs are flailing out, and so it's a
wild choreo. It's one of their most like energetic choreos as well. It's a shame that we don't get to see it on Korean music shows, because
that one made me go check out like the other Japanese releases, and it was like BDZ.
Yeah,
like a soldier, and I was like, oh, dude, they just have a bunch of like banger
and
Japanese releases in their catalog. It seems like they just have a bunch of really dope.
I think
that way in general.
people have often, I mean, Twice have been compared to Girls' Generation since their debut, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think people they recently well, I think it was this year they overcame Girls' Generation and Kara to become like the most successful K-pop group in Japan of all time. And people
Not
are now saying, I think,
considering some of the members they have. This,
yeah. But they see it now. The Japanese releases, their Japanese catalog is like on par, if not having surpassed the ones of Kara and Girls' Generation, which is no mean no mean feat. So yeah, fully deserved. I also put my OST of the year, which was Delivery by Nature, because it's the only thing they released this year, and it's actually good. It's good, I promise. It's from Mion from Idol's drama. Go listen to it, please.
Yes, we would have shamelessly plugged a Nature release this year. Like, you
even
better
if it
believe
sucked.
it. Oh yeah. We would have I would have made billboards, bro. Like, it would have been like, you don't release release the Kraken. I need that Nature release, bro.
I mean,
I need it to happen.
Dream Note gave me the hope, right? That it's like you can go a long time and still release something, and it'd be great.
If they release something even close to as good as Dream Note's Ghost after all this time, I will be publicly telling people in grocery stores about that release if that happens. Okay, if Nature
like a Jehovah's Witness,
dude, if
just
they
going
release,
knocking on doors.
I'm gonna have flyers just like, have you heard about Nature?
Yeah.
No, yeah. If they release something like that, even if they release something that's reminiscent of like Girls after this time, I'm just, come on, I'm ready.
What they said to us was that it's something unexpected. So
okay,
take from that what you will.
That can mean a lot. I'm just gonna keep my fingers crossed. Okay, so that was our top tens, our honorable mentions. I guess now we are moving on to what is we were gonna pick one boy group, girl group, song of the year kind of thing we got going on here. So I'm gonna let you go first.
Well, I guess if you just look at it in terms of the order of the top 10, then
yeah.
But okay, so for me, actually, I might have to put Drunk Days as my actual boy group song of the year. Even as much as I love and prefer House Party, even though it's close, there's something about the way that Drunk Days caught on for everyone. I'm seeing edits of other idols and stuff people had done on Twitter about it, and just like it catapulted ENHYPEN. I mean, ENHYPEN were always guaranteed success because they're under HYBE, right? It's HYBE. It's like they were gonna be famous and successful no matter what. But suddenly they were like, it was like, oh, they've sold like 900,000 albums. It was just like, oh, okay. And a big part of it was due to the way that song caught on. And they've also done some really, really cool performances of it. I think their stages at the MMAs and at Mama, which was underwhelming as a whole. I think most people can agree. I think the highlight stages from that were ITZY and ENHYPEN. So yeah, and I think for a group this young, not only in terms of when they debuted, but in terms of how young some of the members are, because a lot of them are still minors. It's very positive indeed of where they're going to go next. So yeah.
So my boy group release song of the year, only one of Libido. No, I'm just messing.
I mean,
it was a banger of a song. Actually, it was a really good song. It was for me. I think it still is going to be Monsta X. Not Gambler, but the ballad song that
One Day?
Working on One Day. Yes.
Yeah,
that's my choice.
Okay. A very respectable choice.
Right towards the, because I saw that kind of towards the end of this year, right? And I that one was they had the video where they're in front of the like kind of palace behind them, but I think the reason that I like that one so much is because it's like not what I'm used to from Monster X, I guess I would say. Like I think of like Gambler and like some of the like more like like kind of going but they all should like, they're all so talented like individually in Monster X, and especially the rapper Honey, right?
Juhan, my boy.
Juhan.
Yeah,
I just called him Honey.
Honey is his stage name. Juhan is
okay. His like versatility of like awesome vocalist and rapper are like all to me he showed how versatile he is individually in that song. Like yes, but that one even though I couldn't think of the title, I'm sorry, I'm really bad with titles, that one really stuck with me.
Yeah, that one was an emotional ride as well, because that has Shonu in it, right? Shonu is currently doing his military service, and it had him like in the video, and then he like faded away and stuff. So that was like that like hit in the heart, like really deep, you know. Yeah, I mean, Monster X they're Monster X, right? They've been at this a while now, and they don't disappoint. I think Rush Hour is another really, really strong release from them for sure. Yeah, and then girl groups.
Yeah, girl.
So okay, for me, I'm gonna take the cop out route, and I'm gonna say Dream Note. Just I think it's, thinking about it, it's hard for that to be topped, and that for me is everything a girl group song should be, because every member has a real strong moment in that song. The choreo is so dope. I think the choreo is so underappreciated because the music video didn't show that much of it. But there's some really cool parts to that. Like there's this bit where they do like this ripple where they're on one knee and they like turn and they ripple all the way down, the six of them, which is really cool. But they do this like one leg. They're like standing on one leg, and then they like kind of squat down. It's like the strength that really you need in your thigh to like not wobble when you do that is nuts. Yeah, some really, really cool parts to that. Like great rap, great dance, great vocals, and the song itself is amazing. Like, yeah, it's a perfect girl group song for me.
So Mafia in the Morning is my personal, like, that's my personal song of the year. But when I think of like objectively, like through everything that I think of like girl groups, I'm gonna go with Oh My Girl Dun Dun Dance as like the girl group song of the year, because I think that song had like a bunch of impact, like to be, at least I think it did. Like I just think of that throughout the whole year, that song was like there and present. Like as I was doing lives, there was always something going on with like Dun Dun Dance, you know, like it seemed like they were always having a performance somewhere with it, stuff like it is just a song through the whole year since it released that didn't go, it just kept sticking with me like everywhere.
Because it was like in that the I guess the summer releases, right? There was like the slew of what would be the summery songs. Granted, it was over the period of a few months, right? But there was like, we had Dun Dun Dance, we had Brave Girls Chimat Param, we had Red Velvet's Queendom, and we had Twice's Alcohol Free. And I think Dun Dun Dance probably had the most longevity out of those, right?
It's the like best release out of all of those, in my opinion, as well. I know that I did the Brave Girls. It is like I want to like party summer, you know, like. But yeah, Dun Dun Dance just edges for me.
Yeah, it has a bit more legs to it. I think Queendom is a close one for me out of those summery songs, and also Hyolyn and Dasom's summer song was really good as well. I mean, it's half of Sistar, it's still gonna bang. Yeah. So, but yeah, I can appreciate Dun Dun Dance being in there for sure. And another song with underappreciated choreo, I feel actually the choreo to Dun Dun Dance, there's a lot of that which is really cool, which doesn't quite get the appreciation it should. I think everyone knows the like like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
shimmying around one. But there's like some really cool parts in that as well. A lot of like cool floor work and
That's if you don't
stuff
get
goes on.
blinded by Aaron just suddenly like bias wrecking all of humanity in the middle of every freaking performance and video for that song.
Oh my god. I don't know if you saw the teaser for they have a Universe song coming out on Thursday, called Shark, which had a very cool teaser. And Aaron in that, I was just like, oh my god, like what do I do? Help!
Well, there's the KBS Song Festival performance, and Yua's pulling out like maybe one of the hottest outfits ever in K-pop, and then Aaron in the middle of it's just like, I'm sorry, were you not paying attention to me? Like it's like, bruh, like what? Stop it!
Yeah,
it's insane. I don't know. I might have to say that she's gonna be like one of those ones that you could nominate for like all-time visuals or in K-pop.
Yeah,
you know,
maybe on our next episode we'll do our own version of the top 100 most beautiful faces and handsome faces list.
There will be no personal bias in that list at all.
None at all. No.
Well, that's I actually think those are good picks. I like all those picks. I think we I think we kind of like each other's picks. There's nothing where it's like, oh, what are you thinking?
What the hell is wrong with you?
I do think if I just was like Mafia in the morning, you were gonna kind of like squint out of your left eye.
No, I mean I know you already, so I'd brace myself for it. But
no, I objectively I had to give it to that song because I felt like that about that song. Like Dun Dun Dance was like a solid song of the year. Okay, well, so now I don't know why my brain just stopped functioning there for a moment. It is early. I didn't drink enough coffee this morning. But now we are on, I believe, artist of the... No, I'm sorry. We are on the best music videos of the year. That's what we are on. We are on best music videos of the year. So this time I will start first, and I will think... IU, Coin, one of my faves. And it's not just because IU's looking dapper in a suit, okay? Listen, I'm not that simple, all right? It has a, like, kind of storyline going on, you know? She walks in, they just does a little thing in the beginning, you know, Coin land. Who's the actor that's really famous in it?
I can't remember his name, but... Yeah, I know who you mean.
The kind of storyline interaction she has with him throughout like that video is really cool. Makes it one of those more unique, memorable music videos from the year for me.
Yeah, I think Koina as a song I guess I slightly preferred more, but the video for me from IU that stood out was Lilac.
Also
I thought
great.
the Lilac video was very cool. I mean, and it's IU, right? So she loves to act. She likes to have a persona that she's playing in her. That's a fun pun because of that show she was in. She likes to play a role in her music videos. And Lilac sells me because of the fight scene. Anytime there's a fight scene in a K-pop video, I'm all over that. But that Lilac's video was, I guess, simpler because ultimately it's just her like vibing on a train. But as Bacon showed and as Monster X showed, you can have a great time just you and the boys on the train like vibing. It can be a great music video. So Lilac's one of them for me. I didn't do like a full list of the music videos in the same way. I guess we just kind of shout out ones that we liked. So one I'll say this is kind of cheating, but we'll do it in the same way that the award shows do it, where they have a cutoff at some point in the year and then it goes up to that point. So there's two releases that were right at the end of December of last year that I ended up just like loving. One of which was it's not even a music video actually, it's the performance video that Super Junior did for Burn the Floor. I think that this is a cheat because I mostly want to shout out how good that song is, but the choreo to that, the performance of that is just like, it's so beautiful. It's so cool to look at. The one with like, they have the handheld lights and they have like all the lights in the room are on or off. And then they like do lots of light tricks and stuff. I know that Shindong worked with Tony Tesla to choreograph that. who is Michael Jackson's choreographer. Like,
oh well, there you go.
so you know,
yeah,
right? So it's like, yeah, it's just like a beautiful performance, like just a really cool, well orchestrated production overall. And then the other one from that period I have to shout out is JYP and Rain, Switch to Me, because that video is hilarious. Like, it's comedy gold of just the Rain and JYP these trying to upstage each other to woo a woman, which is made funnier by the fact that, of course, like, Rain is so much better looking than JYP, so it wouldn't even remotely be a contest. Not least the fact that both of them are already married men, of course.
Married with children, right? Both.
Yeah. But just like when you think it, like you see like Rain walking on the beach with always with his shirt off or whatever, and then JYP trots by on a horse or something.
He competed like the Jeep memory rolls, but the JYP has like a supercar that he drives by.
And they're having dinner. He pulls up in a helicopter outside. It's just like it just keeps escalating. It's just so fun, and the song itself is hilarious. Like, the song itself is good, but then the way it combines to the video is hilarious. And then, of course, at the end, neither of them gets the girl because Psy comes in and takes her away.
Just being Psy.
The perfect cameo of anything. So that was just video. An unabashedly fun song to do. And
I believe Dayun and Chaeyoung did a funny cover of it as well, right?
Yeah.
So one that you had in your top 10 song list that I thought was one of the best music videos was Super Junior House Party. And we talked a little bit about it when we were talking about the song, but yeah, that's like, just like the Rain JYP video is so much fun the whole time. Like, that video is just fun. Like, it's just the whole time from start to finish. It's just really enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
Especially like that when you're talking about when Heechul's like rap part comes in and the video shifts just as much, like apocalyptic Mad Max like shift to the video. It's perfect.
Yeah. And like he just like it cuts that scene of Shindong with like the M16 with the underslung flamethrower. It's just like, what the hell happened?
It's so over the top, but it's so enjoyable because of it.
Yeah.
I also had Monsta X Gambler as like a really interesting video for me that I really remember. I think because I just remember the aesthetic of it like a lot, you know. That's like maybe that sticks with me because it was close to the end of the year, but it was a great music video in my opinion.
Yeah, I think very stylish, very classy vibes on that one. A lot of suits. I mean, Monsta X in suits is never a bad thing. Yeah, always. Another one from the end of last year that I have to shout out is actually this could have been in an honorable mentions list if I had stuck with the rule. This came out on the 27th of December, so it's just within the time frame. So this was I think I maybe did put it on my last year list. I can't remember, but this is Heechul, Min Kyung Hoon, and BB Hanriang.
Oh yeah, that was a great video. AOTY's had a guest appearance as well.
Yeah, they were the dancers, the dance crew, directed by Shindong as well, of course. Just like a really cool and like fun video with like some fun in jokes and cameo bits to it, but they're taking it seriously and they are doing it properly, and it's a great song. Simple but like very effective, I think, for something that they shot in a day. Like, yeah, gotta give them props for that.
That song's actually that song is enjoyable. Like, it's especially like Min Kyung Hoon having like the rap part and everything too.
Yeah,
whatever. It's like
it's like a sing rap section. Yeah, it's very very cool. I think I'd also have to once again shout out Drunk Days because that has a really cool video with this like instrumental or orchestral section, which is not in the song, it's just in the video, with like complete with blood rain and a blood fountain. It's another one of a couple of songs that we've had this year with a vampiric theme, but another very cool video.
Favorite was definitely, now that you brought that up, a great music video in my opinion.
Yeah,
NCT's favorite because it's like, it's basically just gawking at a bunch of hot dudes as vampires the whole time, but it's aesthetically it works, you know, like it's very good. Like,
yeah, there weren't as many videos this year I felt that had quite the same appeal as some of the ones last year. There was no girls, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, I'm biased in saying that, but yeah, there was. I think Pixie's music videos are both really, really good and like very cool, very aesthetic, very nice to look at.
If you had to pick one of like the whole year number one video, could you?
Mm, no.
No. Dreamcatchers because was I
That was a
always
good
like
one.
Dreamcatchers videos. I think they're very like distinctly their style when they do a video. And I feel like they're really good at fitting their tone in their music
Yeah.
videos. You know, like especially like dude, listen, I don't think I've ever been bias wrecked harder in my life than GU in the Because video. If for anyone like who doesn't understand, I don't know what happened, but I got like a train came and just bulldozed me. Like I don't.
Yeah. What was the one I was just thinking of? It came into my mind and then said, "Oh, Brave Girls After We Ride." I thought that was a cool video. That was a good like storytelling moment and had a nice DKB cameo in it as well. Are there any other ones that are standing out from memory? Not really.
Mafia in the morning.
Mafia in the Morning. No, Mafia in the Morning was a good video actually.
It was a really good music video. Yes.
The way they like cut the members in and out, had them like teleporting around and stuff. That was really cool.
Yeah, the fire at the end and the mafia.
Yes, I know Cherry Young's hips. I've seen it. And also I do have to, since we haven't mentioned them at all, I should give a mention to BTS. I did really like their Japanese music video Film Out this year. That was a really cool video. Had like some cool like set pieces with like lots of like cool movement and explosions and stuff, but not like fiery explosions, like air shoving stuff around us. That was cool. It's a cool video.
Wow, we got a BTS shout out in the video. I know we don't talk about BTS very often, but no, yeah, we have to get. They did have obviously an incredible year of growth.
Yeah,
I can't go anywhere without like knowing that BTS is like the largest group in the world right now.
Yeah,
it's everywhere. Like Butter and Dynamite. If you walk in a store, it's playing. It's everywhere in the US right now. So sorry, that's just a tangent. We just went off on. I can pick a number one favorite music video of the year. Quite obvious, I'm sure, to anyone who knows me, but Sunmi's Tale was not my video of the year, but my video of lifetime achievement award. That might be one of the greatest like cosmic alignment thing that one of the greatest things that's ever happened. All right, Tale music video. To say that was memorable for me is an understatement. Okay.
I mean, she had the "You Can't Sit With Us" video was great as well, right? For very different reasons, but
that one was also a very good video. But Tale, I would like to give a shout out to the Studio Choom performance of Tale.
Studio Choom has had a big year, to be fair to them. They've done a lot. One of Mnet's best creations.
Absolutely.
Sure.
I've never been disappointed in a Studio Choom video, or its live videos are also great throughout the whole year. Those that were released, the It's Live performance. That's what it's called, right? It's Live.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think. Yes.
It is. I'm like I've seen so many of them. I'm quite confident that is what it's called. Well, I guess that's it for videos. I'm sure there's a lot more that we could bring up because there's so many. I'm surprised that Blackpink isn't one that I'm shouting out because their videos are usually so grandiose that
they have to have released something.
Like no, I don't know if my like Blink status degraded because of quality of release or because of lack of release. It's a little bit of both put together. Yeah, I mean, I am always so excited when Blackpink releases something because there is still that initial like, they were like the first thing, you know, like in this channel that kind of got us like going into K-pop and stuff, like do, and I still love those songs. I still love those videos. Hit you with that. That's my remix version.
Yeah.
But yeah, but even if I think of like Lovesick Girls and Ice Cream, God forbid that one, there's just nothing from them as recent videos that I would go like that has the same level to me as some of the older videos do. Yeah. I don't know if you agree with that, but that's how I feel kind of about them recently with the videos.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the videos were never the high point of their music was just enjoyable on like a basic level. It was just like, oh, this song bangs, like
yeah,
like that was the extent of it. And I was like, the videos were cool. I think, as is often the case, I actually think the two of the less appreciated songs have some of their best videos in Whistle and Stay. I love the video for Stay. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't crazy about the album. I wasn't crazy about the videos that came with it. I think it's just mostly just like very elaborate sets with them dancing in it.
I think it's pretty
really cool set design, but that's kind of it.
If Pretty Savage had like a big budget music video and they did it as cool as the style of the song, that might have been something where I would have been like, hell yeah. But they didn't really do that with Pretty Savage. They just did like kind of live performance videos. So
yeah.
That was my favorite song from that album and never really tractioned into a music video. So
yeah, but I mean, who knows? Maybe next year we'll be thinking about how Blackpink came back so strongly and had a great song, great music video, and rose even higher. You know,
I need an EXO release that makes like that. I need that tempo. I need that monster.
I mean, Don't Fight the Feeling was unexpectedly good. I mean, it was unexpected that it happened in the first place, but then I remember liking it more than I thought.
For EXO, like way too
that's
high.
fair.
Like,
I think it's there's a very high bar for some of the, I mean, that's the reason why these artists are as big as they are, right? It's because they've had so many such good releases. It's hard to you always will compare them, and then it's hard to live up to those standards.
Yeah, I'm waiting for something monster, you know, from EXO, and that chorus choreography. I'm waiting for that like again, you know, like because that hits.
Another monster.
That hits, you know, like keeping in your heart. They got that like I don't know, the shoulder, the leg twist going on. It's aesthetically and also like the sound amazing. Just all.
I mean, there's a reason that Monster is. I think it's still the most viewed SM music video of all time.
Yeah.
So there's a reason for that. Although actually, I think you mentioned this before. Like other SM videos you wanted to shout out was Shiny.
Yes.
Don't Call Me.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good, another good video and a really good song, and it was obviously just great to have Shiny back. Shiny's back. Even though it was sadly brief because of Taemin's enlistment, but it was very cool to at least have that as a highlight. And I think there's been a couple of releases this year that just like I'm so happy that we had this, like Tiara. Like I can't express how happy I was to have Tiara with us again.
Yeah, they had a comeback
after 4 years, and I thought that was actually Tiki Taka, very cool video. Though I think All Kill is the better song of the two, but a very cool video, and like did super well. They sold like 50K, like, so maybe the girls are going, hang on a minute, maybe we can keep doing this now. I don't know, because I feel like they might have been thinking, let's just do this one and then that'll be that. But maybe now, I don't know, we'll see. But it's just very cool that it happened, because it very easily could have not happened.
Would be dope if they keep going, for sure. Just like 2 honorable mentions, because you brought up Taemin, and I remembered Advice is an awesome video. Like the Taemin in that like goes very like dark, creepy with the piano in the beginning, and the choreography is when you talk about Taemin, you just know the choreography is just going to be like top tier every time. You're just like, bruh, like, it's like, how does he move like that? When you're just like, he makes the backup dancers sometimes look like they don't know how to do what he's doing. You know, like, I don't know if that like makes sense to, but like, they're obviously great and they're doing what he's doing, but he has such a particular like movement that sticks out from all of them, like when they're doing the choreography together. But another one, Taeyeon Weekend, video great, but pink haired, blonde haired, like Taeyeon, sorry, just like ethereal, like one of the every time, you know, Taeyeon being in a video alone is enough to make it like one of my videos of the year. So it's just, but yeah, the aesthetic she had in that video, like I guess you'd call it like early 2000s aesthetic or something.
Yeah,
was awesome.
Yeah, it's very like like early 2000s, like late 90s, like soft pop vibe. Just very good.
Okay. Well, I think that's it for videos. I'm sure there's so many that we could bring up because there's way too many releases to talk about. But the in general, I think those are great picks. And you guys can let us know any that you feel we didn't bring up. That's your favorite. What's your favorite music video of the year? What's your favorite song of the year? Let us know. Yeah. So now, artist of the year.
Yes.
Which I think is probably the hardest of all to pick, and I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay. Well, can you guess what mine is?
Oh my god! Can you tell me if it's a girl group or a boy group? Or
it's a girl
artist?
Group. Shockingly.
It's a girl group. It's a girl group. Okay. Damn it! I'm trying to think of your list right now.
I will spoil that and say that they're not on my list at all.
They're not on your list at all. Twice.
No. Not a bad guess. But no. So my artist of the year is Brave Girls.
Damn it.
Yeah.
After how much you talk about Brave Girls and like how amazing that comeback was because of that song Rolling having that happen this year, I don't know how I couldn't have thought of that.
But like, I was dancing to Rollin' in my class on Friday with some of my students because one of them is doing it for a dance contest at her elementary school, and I'm just like, the fact that that's a thing that is possible is just so insane to me. Like, I mean, yeah, I can't think of anyone who deserves it more this year than Brave Girls, even though Brave Girls didn't sell the most albums or whatever. But I guess technically they still were the most successful charting
because of the resurgence of
Rolling,
right?
But it's just insane. Like and I can't stress it enough. You know, like how bad it was and how far away they were from it all being over. You know, they were a week away from disbandment, literally a week away. It's not like, I'm not saying that metaphorically or anything. They had the meeting booked in for the following Saturday, but like, and then that video dropped and everything changed, and it just that the year that they had as a result, that they're booked in for every single award show for the end of this year. They just got confirmed to appear at the SBS, or is it NBC Song Festival on the 31st. So they've been at every single one.
Which, if you said that in the beginning of the year to someone, they would have been like, "You're high, bro."
they hadn't appeared. Like, they'd only been as like a dancing thing at Mama in 2016 or something. It was like a Brave Girls collab stage with it as a dancing thing. It was like there's nothing else that they've done, and like for them to have achieved what they've achieved is just incredible to me, and I can't be more proud of them. I'll try not to burst into tears. But yeah, for me, they have to be my artist of the year. I can't think of anyone else. I mean, yeah, obviously we can say, well, BTS had such an incredible year. Yes, of course they did. And we can talk about how the incredible sales that aespa had, for example, and how they just blown up like astronomically
Yeah,
since
if
their
you look
debut.
at success as far as I'm sure sales and like
Yeah,
worldwide popularity or something, I'm sure. I mean, you have to say like BTS, aespa, like that those groups just skyrocketed
yeah,
even farther, than they already were immensely popular.
yeah. I mean, the amount of groups we've had that have become million sellers, either with one album or with just overall this year, is nuts. I mean, we had two NCT units do it, both 127 and Dream sold over 1 million copies of one album each. Bacon sold over 1 million or something as well. Like, yeah, just
It's called Bacon.
bacon, bacon. The
Is
just
Bacon like his nickname or something, right?
yeah, that's what he went by when he was doing the Super M stuff. But it's just yeah, I mean, K-pop in general is blown up massively, but still under all of that, there's such a pureness, an authenticity to the Brave Girls story. And I think the way we mentioned Chimat Balam earlier, like the way that song comes in and it's just so fun and like happy. It's just that's the song that they came back with, and it's like the budget of that is just like like everything, all these dances and everything, and just them having the best time, knowing like how that song would never have happened, in other, and how none of this year would have happened for them if it wasn't for what happened. So yeah, that's why they're my artist of the year.
I think Brave Girls is a great pick, actually, because it's actually you could totally make the argument against them with BTS and aespa because of like that storyline, of just like we're like at the end we're done, and then it just like boom, they were just like everywhere. Roland was everywhere. It's like we're like at the top tier from being at the bottom basically not that long ago.
Yeah.
Which is an incredible story.
Roland has more perfect all kills than like every other girl group song combined, or something. Like that's how long it tops every single chart in Korea, like daily, weekly. Yeah, just insane. Like I think it was something like they wanted to get their last music video Rewrite, which is I still think their best song, but they wanted to get that to the fandom Fearless was trying to get that to 100,000 views in 24 hours. When you know how many views K-pop groups can get in 24 hours, like that's the level they're at, right? Like, and I think they just about made it, just about hit 100,000 views in 24 hours. Maybe they didn't quite make it. I can't remember. And then Chimat Baram hit 20 million in 24 hours. It's like just for sheer scale of blow up. It's just yeah,
it's crazy. It's awesome though. I love when stuff like that happens. It's like
it's so rare. It's so rare in this kind of industry where it's so dominated by such a strong.
Yeah, to have an underdog just come like skyrocketing in like that. Like, hey,
yeah.
we're sitting here too at the same table. Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think? Do you think I was objective or do you think I was extremely biased in my pick? Who do you think
I have to think you were extremely biased and picks on me. But I could be wrong.
So you think I picked Sunmi? What would be your pick if you didn't think I picked Sunmi?
Everglow.
No, it's Sunmi. Okay, listen. Did anyone watching this actually think I wouldn't pick Sunmi when Tail came out this year, and then she had an absolute banger of an album that had Borderline, Narcissism, You Can't Sit With Us, still a great track, like still a great title song. Sunny, come on, bro. Like I just feel like her release this year, I feel like Sunmi doesn't get anywhere near the amount of like popularity of those releases that she deserves for them. Like, because I feel like the quality is there, of everything, of song, video, obviously her presence. She's a goddess, so it's like but for me personally, Sunmi is my artist of the year. Uh, she didn't disappoint at all throughout the whole year for me. But if I'm being objective of like, uh, you know, objectively, I want to say Twice. If I'm being objective.
Okay. I think that's fair.
Because I think Twice did an amazing job at covering like, so they had an American like an English release where they completely kept the vibe of Twice, which I think is maybe the hardest thing to do an English release, and for me to hear it and for you to completely keep that vibe of like, this is Twice, like this, yeah. There's nothing that was lost in translation here.
It's like if you had not been in touch with K-pop for a year or two and you went into a store and you heard the Feels playing, you would still go, is this Twice? Yeah. You know, like it would have that signature to it.
Absolutely. And then to be overall, like when you think about, I really loved a lot of the B-sides from the release that had Scientist on it when we checked
Formula
them out.
Of Love.
Cruel. Cruel was a great song that I listened to a lot. And I mean, dude, Perfect World alone was enough for me to just be like, dude, you're artist of the year. like Perfect World. When you think about it, in 3 different languages, they released amazing songs. So to me, that's like enough to be like, okay, like who else did that? You know, kind of when I'm thinking about it. And I'm not sure anyone else did it, at least to be in the same quality that Twice did.
Yeah, I think that's a fair take for sure. And it's just, like I said before, like how they keep managing to live up to their standards and even surpass them in the eyes of a lot of people. And they are, it's interesting as well because they don't chart as well as they used to in Korea, but their sales are, I think the Formula of Love is now their best-selling album. They're the only K-pop group, the only girl group to be in the top 10, like the only female artist, I think, to be in the top 10 on Oricon in Japan for all-time sales or something. Like they never looked back from the moment they started, really. So yeah, I can't disagree with them getting artist of the year like they did at Mama. And I think maybe that summed it up really for them, was that they had Tiffany and Sooyoung present them with the artist of the year award, that meant that they surpassed Girls' Generation for total number of those awards had, it's or like something
changing
like that.
Of the guard, you know, like happening at the award show.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I completely fair pick. I think if I was being very objective, I could have said Twice as well. But I think perhaps the fact that Scientist certainly grew on me. I think the Feels was my favorite. The Feels and Perfect World were my favorite releases from them this year, and the fact that neither of their Korean releases would be in my top 3 Twice albums, I think probably is why I wouldn't put them there. But that's just for me personally. I do think they're good.
If Can't Stop Me had released this year with those foreign releases, I couldn't have even. It just would have been. Like,
it would have been nuts.
Yeah, it would have just been like, okay, Twice. Like, give them everything. Like, because that would have just been like, okay,
would have had that and Cry for Me, which came a lot.
Yeah, and Cry for like.
Just,
imagine if that was, which they're so close, you know, because that was like right at the end of 2020, you know, like it was right there. It could have happened that way, you know, if they had let it happen that way. But still, to be Twice in 2021 and 2020 with their releases cemented to me that they are gonna be as they already are, but they are like as legendary as Girls' Generation. Like, to me, they cemented that with the quality that they just continuously keep having. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'm fascinated to see what next year has in store for them. So I know that they in a couple of days, in fact, they have their Seoul shows starting off their world tour, which I hope to God will still go ahead. I know that there was some devastating news the other day that Very Very cancelled their tour midway through it because one of the members got COVID. which is so. I hope Youngsung. I hope he apparently only had like mild symptoms, but they cancelled it just to be safe, and that's exactly what happened to Everglow's tour last year. And I hope that this kind of thing can go ahead. I know that Jungyeon is not going to participate in the Seoul shows. At least I don't know if she's going to go on the US ones. They haven't said yet. So. Because a part of me has thought for a while that next year would be twice as last year, at least as 9. I there's something in me which just seems to think that they're not going to renew. Maybe some of them will. I don't know, but I guess we'll see. Obviously, but maybe the continued success and maybe a very successful tour might encourage them. I don't know what they're. It's the thing because they're a lot more private. I feel than as individuals than a lot of groups. It's hard to know what their individual goals and aspirations are in the same way that it's very obvious what Blackpink members want to do, for example, right? It's different. So yeah, I guess we'll see. But it's the fact that no matter what, they've always continuously lived up to the expectations is very impressive.
Yeah, and then from how I felt about them in the beginning of checking them out to how I feel about them now, I think is also just like a sign of how great they've been consistently, because like I went from kind of being like this is very cutesy, I don't know how I feel about this, like kind of, to just being like I fucking love Twice. Like like it's a huge shift over time of just like how I feel about them as a group, but I would say I really, if the world tour goes all as planned, I really want to get tickets to see them in LA without losing an arm and a leg to pay for it. I looked at some of those prices for like even reasonably close seats, and wow, expensive. Like to quote Dayoon,
I get it, that's a reference.
Yeah, it's insanely expensive to see K-pop concerts these days. I know Blackpink made me look at my wallet and cry when I saw them. Red Velvet was much more affordable to see, and Red Velvet was much more like the most memorable K-pop concert experience I had, I would say. Because that might just be because I saw Joy and screamed like my lungs out, but just Red Velvet. I think it's too just the songs. I love Red Velvet's catalog so much. Like yeah. But I'll let you guys all know if I do see Twice. Obviously, maybe I'll even just like do a live, like, hey, I'm about to see Twice live, kind of thing. But it would be awesome without spending insane amounts of money to see them. Yeah, so I suppose to conclude that those picks are, I think, both really solid picks. Brave Girls, Twice. No one can attack me about Sunmi because she is, at the end of the day, the GOAT. So
and this is your channel, so
yeah. There's nothing anyone can say that will convince me otherwise, that Sunmi is the GOAT, all right, and that she had the best year in K-pop. But objectively, yeah, Twice, Brave Girls, I think are both awesome picks and arguable in there against BTS and aespa, even with the insane sales success that they had. I think there's merit to why Twice and Brave Girls belong in that conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, this has been the Kpop Podcast, episode 10. I'm Honan.
I'm Oliver.
And see you guys next time. Okay, guys, so just like the last episode, this is kind of a little bonus at the end of the podcast here, where we're going to listen a little bit to some of the songs that we talked about in our list, and just kind of from beginning, first chorus, and then we'll stop and then do that for each song. So the first one is going to be the same way we did it with our list. We're starting from 10, so mine is Favorite, Vampire, so here we go. Let me just make sure audio isn't going to clip like crazy.
Taeyong has such a distinct voice. Whenever you hear him. And so does Mark, to be fair.
I like the verse, but it's definitely like this pre-chorus and chorus part.
Yeah. Jay here.
Right here, bro. That's like classic great SM chords.
Yeah. That lead synth that you hear is quite piercing, actually. Like,
yeah,
it's quite a high synth line at the top, at the back there.
It's because they left like the bottom end of the song like empty somewhat, and let that kind of high treble of that like MIDI be what cuts through the whole time.
Yeah,
but it's cool. It fits kind of the calm vibe of the song that it has going on, but like that chorus somewhat isn't calm though. You know what I mean? Like it starts to hit with some pace at you there. But yeah, that whole pre-chorus leading into that chorus for me sold that song. So now we got Drunk Days and Hypin. Now I can say it correctly. Here we go.
Just instantly, you're in that drum line. You're like, okay.
It's got that slamming.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for great pre-choruses.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for great choruses. That's like slam drum.
It is a great chorus. It's got like, it hits hard. So,
yeah.
The thing I notice about like a lot of the songs that are on this list is like when you have a pre-chorus that perfectly builds you to a chorus that just like drops.
Yeah.
Like that is like the best formula that you can have.
Yeah, it's a classic pop formula, right? But it just when it's something so basic can still be done in so many ways and done so well. It's still like it still feels fresh, you know. Even though you know exactly what's coming, we're not, you know exactly how it's gonna happen. It's just when it's done well, it still just hits.
Yeah, because obviously a perfect song. Oh, I just popped the filter there. First, obviously a perfect song can have like the verse connects perfectly and it's all great, but you can have a song where you're like, and then a pre-chorus chorus slams and you're like, okay. Like, you know what I mean? You can have a song that's made just from pre-chorus and chorus alone.
Yeah.
All right. So this would now be what is my number 9 pick, which is Easy by WJSN, The Black. I love the kind of like ambience of this, you know, and then it actually hits. That bass line. Little snaps. love the way the bass just like stays, you know? Like,
Yeah, it just keeps it going.
yeah. So that one, like, obviously kind of quickly goes back to the next, like, but yeah, that's one of those ones. Unlike where we were talking about pre-chorus building perfectly to chorus, that whole verse has like kind of itches into there versus having like a really dramatic pre-chorus part.
Yeah, but that fits the vibe of the song so well, right? It's just like it's such a body moving. It's baby making music.
The bass line. That's like, really feel the rhythm of it.
Yeah.
All right. So your number 9 is Love Month Yukika.
Yeah.
The drum fill.
The drum fills, yeah. It's like all of that in the intro, and then just reduce it just to this.
The calmness that it goes to.
Yeah. Her voice is so clear. It's not a strong voice. It's just so clear.
I think I can actually turn it up.
멈춰버린 계절 속에 너와 갇힌 것만 같아 오늘 내일 모레까지도 따뜻할 것만 같은 걸 꽉찬 달 아래서 눈 맞추고 싶어 떠다니는 꽃잎들 따라서 너만 바라보며 왔어 너와 있다면 이 모든 게 멈춰버리면 난 찾겠어 지금 바로 너랑
From the horns.
So good.
Oh, sorry. I got lost in it for a second.
It's
I
so
just kept
easy
bobbing
to
my
just,
head.
it's so easy to just let it like take you away, right? Like
Yeah, City
that's
Pop has
what
that
her
vibe where
music's
it's just
all
like
about.
I'm cruising right now.
Yeah. I would never be able to actually drive listening to it because I would just be cruising straight through red lights. Yeah.
You think you're going like 40, but you're actually driving like 100.
Yes.
Okay, so that's actually now like it had been a bit since I'd listened to that, but yeah, you're like you can feel it.
It's just the instant groove, like
So now we got number 8, which this like I said, this easily could be in my top 3. I don't it is. It just didn't end up that way somehow. So, Dun Dun Dance. Another great bass line.
yeah. This was a year of bass for K-pop for sure. Let me just change it to a trap beat.
This right here.
Oh, baby, give me, give me more. No one teaching my love these songs.
So good. Like, so good. Like, perfectly written from start to finish. That whole song, in my opinion, like just perfectly executed, like the whole way through.
Yeah,
it has so many moments in the song where you just want to like sing along with it too.
There's so much more you pick up on as well the more you listen to, just like the little background harmonies, little bits of like ad-libbing and stuff like that. You notice that just makes it more and more appealing each time.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Like when Sungi does that, I'm on the it's so like, oh, it's timeless, dude. Like the way that part happens. So your number 8 is Yalla.
It's interesting with the ones where we have the same artist or sort of the same artist but different songs and how different they are from each other.
Yeah,
this is very different from Easy.
And then because the way we have this ordered too is just gonna be like shifting so much and like so Yalla, here we go.
너의 눈빛을 흔들어 그 느낌 난 마치 데자뷰 더 깊이 깊이 눈 감은 너에게 줄게
It's very house music and I love
더 부드럽게 작게 속삭일게 그럼 너는 too late Come on 손에 뻗은 너에게 닿을 때눈 감아 살짝게 물어봐 그땐
Yeah, that's instantly at my glow sticks.
Yeah.
다시 펼쳐진 또 다른 세계 느껴봐 너만 보이는 내 신기루 달콤한 frequency 일라 달콤한 frequency baby nobody knows 달콤한 frequency
Such a cool little fill there.
Yeah, the way that drop when it was like and then it
just the polyrhythmic drop is so cool.
Yeah, so cool. It is really good. Like it's because they also we both technically had them on our list. That's what I was trying to get out of my. So even though I had the subunit, they both had releases that were just like, this is super sick.
Yeah, for sure.
So my number, we are on 7. Yes, my brain stopped functioning for a moment. Narcissism from Sunmi. And like I said, this one is a cheap way for me to basically put Borderline on here. Because it leads into my favorite song.
It's like the way that synth is then like subdued a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And her voice is doing those soft, you know. This song's less like a driving song and more like something like lay down in like a pitch black room and listen to this.
Right.
Has so much of Sunmi's style in it when she does these pauses.
It's like that's that one like light synth chord on top of the drums at the same time. Yeah.
It's always like single hit percussion too. This is someone else. This is someone else, not me. I can see no more. I love the way that the chorus concludes. Yeah, so that one, I really suggest people listen to it like as like a two-parter, like that going right into Borderline is like to be like, I think I listen to those two like always together, like that, like it's
Like the
meant
two
to be
sides
on
of
the
her
album.
personality almost.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so like great the way it rolls into Borderline, like it's
Yeah.
awesome. So now your number 7 is My Doll,
Yeah.
which
A bit more subdued.
we're going a little bit creepy here, which I love the vibe it gives off in the chorus.
착히 작은 계단 허리를 낮춰 오른 다락방에선 내 어린 날 풍경 고스란히 펼쳐져
Yeah, just filter that the voices through. Sounds so cool.
Even the tone of that MIDI is really cool too.
Yeah.
오기만 해도 웃음이 흘러
And Yua's voice is so clear there. That's Erin's voice, I think.
There's something the first time I hear the chorus that's unnerving.
That's Mimi singing as well, the rapper. Yeah.
Sorry, so we need to get to a specific part that I think in this song is very important.
You talk about after the second chorus.
Yeah.
To this chorus, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like this is a really important part of the song.
It's a really simple guitar line under it as well. Just keeps it going. Yes. You say that I'm so sorry there. It's so haunting.
Yeah, like the first time that you showed me this, I was like unnerved, by that part happening. Like, it was like,
I actually don't know for sure, but I do think it is just their voices again that they've just chopped up so much and
it sounds like
modulated
they
so
like
much.
pitch shifted and tempo shifted like the voices in a way or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, like and it's pitching high again after
Yeah.
that, and then going back low, and then she's just going, "I'm so sorry" at the end. It's like it's really
Yeah.
they put a filter on the "I'm so sorry" too, though. That's like
Yeah, it's such
gives me
such cool
shivers, like
such cool ways to play with voices.
it's a great song. It's a great example of like their versatility as well. Because I mean,
Yeah.
we just listened to Dun Dun Dance in this same
Right.
it's like,
It's on the same album. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So now at number 6, I have Because from Dreamcatcher.
So much drum and bass influence in this song. That's what I remember. Still got that like,
Cause I like you, 눈에 가득 찬 별 나의 세레나데 한사 같은 날 불러 사랑한단 말 앞이 Cause I love you Forever love 숨겨까지 다 Forever love Cause I love you Forever mine 숨겨까지 다 Forever mine 다시 해주지마 대칭 철칙
Donnie's
yes,
heart's
nuts. Prodigy beat, like,
Donnie's
Yeah, I don't know.
parts always slay so hard in their songs, dude.
when that I remember when I heard that for the first time and that part came on, I was just like, bruh, someone has been bumping the Prodigy lately, like, to put this on. Like, my god.
What's that song?
So good.
Bum, dang, 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 dang.
Oh, Breathe.
Yeah,
Breathe
yeah,
by the
yeah.
Prodigy.
Yeah, so that one, especially an important part that we didn't show in that one is like later, when she goes so high, you know, that I like it. Yeah, that's way out of any range either one of us could even bother to attempt. But there's so many key points in that song that are great besides the initial verse and chorus. But yeah, I love I believe it's Suo, right? Like Ocean View, like the lead in like that is so catchy. Like it's something about that pre-chorus part coming in.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, as I re-listened, because earlier, forgetting that AOTY was this year, I stick with my because pick. Re-listening,
I think it's
really enjoy it as a song.
It would have been harder to pit it against like Boca or Scream or something.
Oh yeah, Boca. Dude, Dami and Boca, like just her parts in that I love way too much.
Hold up,
hold up, to kill it. Like it's way too good. So your number 6 is House Party.
Got that bit of like Bruno Mars type guitar.
승리신사 여러분 나를 보고 따라해 Gonna have a good time 자유로웠던 시간이 멈췄던 지난 날의 누구들의 박수 How we do it? 끝났어? 이제 극복? 아직 끝이 아닌데 인내심에 또 한계가 다다라 터질 것만 같아 모두 We getting crazy now 이걸 놓지 마 누구든 현실의 공감 이전에 없던 것들 이게 내 모두가 함께 Oh my God Everybody now Here we go 함께 하고 싶은 마음은 잠시만 접어두고 This is my house party 새롭게 만든 룰에 맞게 서로를 지키는 멋진 매너 This is my house party 깜짝 나와서 마지막 한 살까지 일어날 때 맞춰 House party Hands up beyond the world 닿지 않아도 모두 연결되는 세계 House party 집에 들어박혀 뭐
I love the way that like initial part of the beat just flows out.
Man, it's so sad in retrospect that the lyrics are like, "Good job, it's almost done." Like we just have to like, you know, it's like such a like a positive. Like we're almost through with COVID. Let's just stick it out for the last bit, everyone. And now it's like Korea reintroduced its restrictions on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean the whole world probably at that point is like, yeah, it's almost done. That's like, nope, just like big old swipe away. The thing about that song, like all Super Junior songs, retain like all the best qualities of like SM Entertainment style.
Yeah.
To me, like they Super Junior never loses that like we're an SM artist vibe.
Yeah,
in their music
for sure.
Especially like the house party, like thing. It has their feel to it, you know, like the whole way through.
Definitely. It's another great example. I think this is what I might go do really well as well, especially in Dan Dan Dance. But like they let each member's individual charm and appeal of their voice and specific voices comes through in a really good way. Like each part is assigned really well. It's like you would, if you switched the member who was doing each part up, it wouldn't quite work as well, but they just they do it so well.
I'm always excited to see how like Heechul is going to be thrown in every like release. You know, it's like how are they incorporating Heechul?
You're right.
Which in this song he has a great
it was wild
part.
yeah.
So now we are at our number 5s, which this is technically we both had this on our list. So
this is your 5 and my 4. I think.
Okay, we were that close to having the exact same number for it. So Dream Note, Ghost. Oh, I guess I didn't click play. Dream Note, Ghost. Nope, not that time either. There we go.
There you go.
너는 마치 thriller 내 꿈도 세우고 놀라게 해 부른 딸이 뜨면 왜
little bit of gain on it.
Yeah, it's like they go from the synth bass at the start to the real bass afterwards.
This chorus. Such an awesome end to a chorus. Like, dude, that
What a chorus.
That chorus, because I remember when you guys first showed it to me, and then like obviously the whole thing's great, but like when that chorus hits, especially the at the end of it, but like I remember just like, because you guys like were selling it hard, and I was like, okay, like let's see, all right, you know, and then that chorus came, I was like, bruh.
I hadn't been that excited for a release for a long time. I mean, like I would have been excited anyway, just because it's like, oh, thank God they're releasing something, right? But like every teaser, I was like, oh my God, this is sounding so good. I can't wait to hear the finished product, and it didn't disappoint. Yeah.
I really want this song to have like so much more popularity and views than it does. Like it's such a good quality release that it deserves so much more traction behind it.
Yeah.
So that was my number 5, your number 4. So now
this is my number 5.
Your number 5. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
This is Kang Daniel Digital. Boop. With this
It's like that grittiness of the instruments in the back. It's like
I love the tone of that bum MIDI.
yeah.
Sorry,
We're gonna halftime.
that synth right there's really cool.
Yeah.
The like arpeggiated kind of one going on. Like. So I don't know if you
Very
agree. Cool. Like some of like his style is like a boy version of like Sunmi's. To
I was just thinking.
Like,
yeah.
the way the verses connect to choruses and stuff, it has like similarities to me of style. I'm not saying like they're copying each other in any way. I'm just saying they have a distinct, like a style that's unique to them, that's similar to me.
So what you're saying is they should collaborate.
Yes. Dude, how many times have I preached that like IU, Taeyeon, and Sunmi need to do a song together? Like it has to happen. Like I don't know how it hasn't happened. How like it has to have been an idea in someone's brain, right? Like it needs to
maybe
happen.
at some point.
So now we are on number 4,
yes,
which will technically be like your number 3 after.
Yes.
So Pixie Bewitched. Oh, I'm so excited.
저리 그래 난 달라 달콤히 위험해 You told me you're gonna show me the way to my life 알고 싶어 너무 깊어져 눈을 감은 채 너의 손에 꽉 잡지 Feeling alright 고민을 넣어가지 I just keep falling 나를 데려가 멀리 방심하는 순간 나만 feeling 전부 다
That fry.
삼켜 Rich 내게 번져
Yeah.
나를 던져 나도 말도 필요 없어 I can focus on you I can focus on you 나를 가져가 삼켜 언제나 skin 네가 기쁘게 아픔을 돼 눈부신 아픔을 돼 Keep focus on you I'll keep my focus on you 나를 다 가져가
Dude, there's just so many little elements in this song that are so enjoyable. Like,
Yeah, there's so much they add to stop it from being too monotone, right? There's so much just little bits that they can work in.
the like da, ba, 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 da, and later they have like the ooh, in between, you know, and stuff. They're like, bro, like I actually like keep rethinking my list as I'm listening through. Like Oh My Girl Dun Dun Dance could have been like higher in this one too, but it's like it's so hard to actually structure it.
It's yeah, I mean, ultimately a lot of the list is like it's just a list. It doesn't have to be like a power ranking, right? But,
yeah. It fluctuates like depending on mood, you know, too. Like,
so it always strikes me as funny that one of the members of Pixie was in Cherry Bullet in their like early stages when they were like especially cutesy, and I love that she went from that to this
style.
Like,
yeah,
such a change.
Dude, that like the Grudge sound thing is so impactful. Like, when it goes
that vocal fray, just anytime an artist does that well, it's like I'm just thinking of examples where they have those like those fries, like Red Velvet do that in Sassy Me, and NCT do that in Limitless. Like it's just when it's done well, it just sounds so good.
Yeah, when it's done correctly, it's always just like it never stops being impactful in the song. It's just like you're just anticipating it every time.
Yeah.
So your number 3 is going to be On Yoon, Sailing.
Yeah.
I'm sailing. No,
Brace yourselves, people who haven't heard this. It'll be an experience. Should note she composes everything herself and plays the piano.
I feel like I should have like a nice drink in my hand and like, you know, doing
the strings in the back. Yeah.
인생을 안다면 신선이라 어찌 사람이겠소 배 위에 이 한모 몰랐으니
Sounds like they used a metronome as like a beat.
밭을 올려야지 여쳐나가자 비탄으로 뒤덮인 땅은 뒤로 하고
You'd never think the song goes where it goes after this. I love it. You think after this, you think we just go into another verse after this, right? And she's like, no, let's do this instead.
Dude, her vocal range is awesome. It's unique. The little like click beat. It's like they used a real old school metronome as like
Yeah.
the beat sound, like the real hardcore like actual like analog ones. They'll do like
I honestly like she loves doing stuff like as analog as possible. I mean that brass drop is probably the most electronic I've heard her music. Like so much of that was like, you could tell that was like a real string section doing that, you know. It wasn't like a keyboard one. Like
it's so unpredictable. Like the like you're like, okay, this is gonna go back, you know, and just like it's dope though, especially when she does those like the real sharp attack ones she does are so precise. Like
and there's so much
wavering in there.
Yeah, there's like vibrato in it, but it's just so like
so
delivered like on a spear tip. Yeah,
you can hear in her voice she goes like and then she'll straighten the note completely out at the end latter half, which is so hard to do, to be like and then go back to being perfectly straight on the note, like without doing vibrato. It's pretty crazy, like, because she'll do it a lot, so it's not like something she did on accident
on a one-off, right?
Like a one-off. She's doing it over and over again, so it's like, it's clearly
very very talented
the
lady.
skill. So now my number 3, Advice by Taemin. Love the intro.
You can't see me, but I'm doing a hand keyboard motion. It's almost like his voice is in place of percussion here.
Yeah, and the way he moves when he does that part too. His range, like
his falsetto up there. Yeah.
His falsetto, yeah. This note, when he does that, like, you know, when he does this like side shimmy in the choreography in the song, like it's like a hip twist or something. There's certain parts in the choreography in this one where he does like that side hip twist thing, and it's like, bruh, how? Like, I've seen a lot of dancers, you know, but it's like there's such an execution in the movement, and like, yeah, it's
Taemin is like the man who he makes you want to know how to dance, right? Like so you watch him and you just go, I wish I could move like that. Like yeah.
His, like, the one from the actual song move where he does like the, you know, like, it's like I didn't think a man could like sensually do that, you know, like you know what I mean? It's like it's done in such a unique way of his like dance style.
You watch him and you suddenly get like why women are heterosexual sometimes.
So now we have your number 2.
Yes.
A Bit Tipsy from Yuha. Instant. Such a sucker for arpeggiated synth sounds.
Every time. Like
I will never be tired of like the 80s drum.
One of my favorite trends that happened in K-pop.
So I want to say like the mixing in that song's really cool because like the arpeggiated MIDI keeps going in different volume levels in the different sections of the song. Like it's quite prominent right there in the beginning, then subtly goes down for more of the hell like melody style synth, and then once it gets in that chorus, they're just like, whoop, and they shift it like way back up in volume. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like they let her voice come through more in the verses, and then they bring them like both together in the chorus.
It hits because of the way they mixed that like that. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So now I'm looking at the photo, I'm like, oh shit. So my number 2 is Tail by Sunmi. God, I love that sound.
You could do that on a guitar as well. You could like,
yeah.
날 똑바로 쳐다봐 젖은 고개를 더 세워 어신경 있고
So it's actually the same kind of thing that she does with her voice. It's the same like the sirens. Yeah.
Look, she uses it as a bridge, like an instrument to bridge things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, God, I love that tone.
You're a bit snappy.
Yeah. Dude, the way she can do like these whispers sometimes, so good.
It's almost like her mouth is barely open when she's doing it.
Dude, my favorite part, like, you know, when she's doing the choreo, it's like but she does like the snake coil kind of like sliver, like it's so I know it's like a cat, okay, but it reminds me like a snake, you know, like the way the choreography is right there.
Yeah, it's so hard to cut these songs off, but hopefully it will encourage people to go and listen.
No, yeah, otherwise we'd be like and maybe an hour 20 if we played through the day. I would hope anyone watching this has heard Tail from Sunmi. I would really hope so.
I mean, this is the second time we've played it like consecutive weeks, so
yes, I will play it every week.
Be our theme tune.
Okay, so your number 1. I'm sorry,
one.
I lost my brain function. Is Changui from Changui, right?
Yeah, Changui.
From
this is one that definitely you have to appreciate the whole song, because the whole thing is like one continuous build up to the end. But yeah,
let's play the whole thing. It's 3:22.
No. All right, I'm always down. That like discordant piano in the back.
Oh, I changed the volume and I did way too much. Hold on.
It's that one piano note just thumping along.
Bass piano. Like,
It's like a French horn, I think, in the back. I'm not sure.
The way the piano comes in right there is really cool too.
스물 하나가 된 청년인데 범을 잡는다 거들럭대다가 목숨을 잃었소만 이대로는 달상하여 황천을 건널 수 없어 옳다구나 낙친이 나를 도와주시게. 얼씨구 좋다 어덜씨구 좋다 그대 나와 함께 어깨춤을 덩실 더 덩실 정신을 잃고 쓰러질 때까지 이 밤 산신의 이빨 아래
The what? It's so
Yeah, the strings, yeah.
And
she loops over her own voice.
나무 사이에는 호수님이 연못바닥에는 소살기에 벽공 너머에는 불사조가 나그네 뒤에는 도깨비가 조교하다 휘영청한 머리로 새얼싸 두 군데는 영산의 호랑이님 행차
That brass section is bigger in the back now.
얼씨구 좋다 얼씨구 좋다 그래 어디 한번 어깨춤을 덩실 떠덩실 하찮은 내 노체주를 보자꾸나 이곳이
that like traditional instrument going in the background. So
Yeah.
it's-
얼씨구 좋다 얼씨구 좋다 우리 모두 함께 어깨춤을 덩실 떠덩실 눈을 뜨면 사라질 복도야 이밤 산고의 길 위에서
It's just like, it's almost a bridge. You think it's a bridge, and it's just like, no.
Damn, those strings in the background.
Yeah, that's why the whole song has to be appreciated.
Oh shit!
And then straight into Mafia.
So I just want to play something again here. The right there before the high note at the end. That's so sick. The the like string movement.
Yeah,
You know, like
Like
someone
it,
just
man.
shredded that violin there. You know, right before that.
yeah.
That's so sick. God, it's so quick for Mafia in the morning. Yeah, that's not one you can just like stop and be like, okay, you heard the plot of this
Like
song.
there is a chorus, but it's not quite the
Yeah.
the whole thing has to be appreciated.
I really like it's so catchy, like dum ba dum ba dum 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 ba dum dum, you know.
The
like-
dongxi is a shoulder dance. Is what that is.
Mm.
That's what she's saying.
Does she do like the shoulder movement while
No.
saying it?
I mean, she kind of. I mean, there's no choreo to her songs. Shockingly, she does kind of vibe when she just stands there and sings, or she sits at the piano and sings, and like she just kind of like she'll vibe around, but like not really.
Yeah, there's so many like background musical elements that you really have to pay attention
Yeah,
to while you're listening to the song that you probably wouldn't even like a first listen notice all of them, but like
yeah, you do pick up on more of it, that song it just breezes by as well. Like it's like it starts and then it just feels like it's over because of just how much gets added and just yeah, it's a real experience.
There's that traditional like instrument in the like latter half of the song. It's like yeah behind her,
I think
like
it's
squealing
like-
kind of like
I don't know I don't know the exact word for it in Korean, but it's like a singing saw. It's like like 2 or 3 strings,
yeah, I can
and
see.
they like
I know
play
what
it with the
looks like,
bow.
like,
Yeah,
yeah. Just
Pretty
can't think of a
cool.
name.
no,
All right, so I am a basic bitch. So my number one here is my jam. All right, I love this song. I jam out to it as much as I can. Obviously, we'll listen to this whole one as well since it's
Okay.
our number ones here. So I've got ITZY, I'm the Mafia. Shh.
she shushes the JYP whisper.
Guess who loves you? 나야 나. Do I show you? No, yeah, no. 아직
Dude, in the car, that, like, bump,
아니야,
bump, thumb.
난 좀
It's so
I
good.
bet. Back window vibrating.
I'ma steal it, 맘을 훔쳐. You are gonna love me. 결정적일 때 이빨을 드러내는 타입. 나와 두 눈이 마주쳐도 난 흔들림이 없어, no. 널 사랑하는 게 죄라면 but me know who you never know. Baby, 깔라 헷갈리겠지 넌 결국엔 내
I love the look.
I'm the mafia.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ring ding ding.
Here's your Espa part.
배우보다 더 배우 늑대 가지고 노는 야우 전혀 안 보이겠지
I love Yeji's part.
계획이 있다고 go 그만 머뭇대 슬슬 작전 개시 너를 뺏어 like a Kpop movie ready 할 수 없는
A K-pop movie, of course.
천명의 네 맘속 place hurry up baby catch me if you can baby
A lot of giggles incorporated into these songs.
The like Sumida choreography thing maybe always like
I'm the mafia
It is different, isn't it? The instrument on this one is different. The first
Yeah.
one is different beat, yeah.
they do change it, yeah.
Slower, I think.
Best part right here.
마지막 밤이 깊었어 babe 이 밤이 지나면 네 곁에 날 하나기야 마침내 피할 수 없는 아침이 와 I'm the mafia
You get Chaeyoung's outro dance right here.
Yeah.
I'm the mafia 아침이 다가섭니다 어젯밤에도 you don't even know 누구일까 mafia 다가도 you don't even know 누구일까 mafia
Yeah, so
Beautiful.
that's like the song that cemented me as a midzy. Like, I was like, okay, I like what you're throwing down. Like, before that, I, unlike you, was a big fan of Not Shy, and then Wannabe obviously was like the best one that they had like released at that point. But still, yeah. If they keep going in this direction, which they kind of have, I really liked Loco. But yeah, if they have more in the style of like In the Morning, I'll stick around.
Yeah. As a fun test, can you name every fandom from these artists?
Oh.
Since you said Midzy.
Oh.
I'll give you Yeon and Yuha don't have fandom, so you don't have to worry about them.
Okay. I know that Sunmi is Miyane, obviously. And then Bewitch or Pixie. I mean, would it be something like ridiculous, like fairies or something like that?
It's Winxie.
Winks.
Yeah.
Taemin, what is his fandom?
So his would just be well, he has like an unofficial one, which is the Taemints.
Taemin's.
But he has the shiny one, of course. Shawol, shiny world.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then God, what is Dreamcatchers? Why am I blanking on it? Bruh.
If you're already struggling to sleep, what do you have?
Wait, how do I not know? I do know. Oh my god. Oh my, you're gonna have to tell me. I can't think of it.
Insomnia,
bro. You even gave me the clue. Wow. I can't. My Insomnia card's pulled away. It's done. You guys have to burn my Insomnia card.
You're just a GU solo stand now.
I'm just a GU. So, King Daniel.
Yeah, his one is kind of cheesy. His is
Gangsta?
Danity. Gangster would have been good, actually. Gangster, I like that. No, Danity.
Danity. Yeah, they should have totally done Gangster, bro. See, I just
really should
renamed
have.
your fandom and made it better. No, just
Dream Notes I mentioned earlier.
Super Junior are Sujus, right?
No.
Or no, elves.
Elves. Yeah.
Elves.
Everlasting friends.
Yes, elves. I just remembered right at the last second. Elves. Okay, good. At least I remembered that one. That would have been really bad if I forgot that one too.
Yeah.
Insomnia, dude. Fuck. It's like such a long one of a fandom name comparatively to some that I think I was just like, nah.
Great name, though.
Dream Note?
So I said it at the start of when we were talking about them earlier. So this is a test of how well you listen.
Most stuff just goes like.
So think that they're a note, right? Okay. On what do you leave a note?
A door, a table.
Think more like what a book containing notes. The notes might be written on something.
Index.
Now you're overthinking. Page.
Pages.
Pages.
Okay,
Yeah.
see, like, that makes sense. Okay, yeah. I was about to say like post-it notes and stuff.
Post-it notes, yeah.
We're post-its, you know. We're like, okay, so wow, I don't know as many nearly as I thought I did. Let me scroll up here, I guess.
Oh my girl's one.
Oh my girl. I'm gonna guess that there's.
This is a really good name as well, actually. One of my favorites.
It couldn't be like anything related to like the boy version of that or something, right? Like,
They did once do a boy group. No, they did. They dressed up as Oh My Boy, and they did a cover of Mr. Mister by Girls' Generation.
You're gonna have to tell me. I can't think of it.
Miracle.
Okay, yeah, I really would never come to that conclusion.
Good
Interesting.
name.
Sometimes it's very related to the name, and then sometimes it's just like
just
a totally unrelated.
I think I prefer it when it's like something a bit different rather than just like some weird mix of the name or something.
Yeah. Like, sometimes I'm not a big fan of, like, they just abbreviate or something.
Yeah.
know? Like, because then it's becomes something kind of weird sounding half the time. It's like, oh, okay. Like, I guess. Yeah. I guess that's what it is. Like, and hyphen, there's no way.
Yeah, NG. It's like engine, but ENGENE. Engine.
So if I don't get NCT right, there's, like, a couple people in the Discord that'll like murder me in my sleep.
So
it's N-Citizen.
N-Citizen, yeah. They reside in N-City. And the N-Citizens.
I know that one because I was like, I better learn that. There's way too many NCT fans to not. Yeah,
there are. How about WJSN?
Oh, Cosmic Girls?
That's just a sort of English translation of their name.
Would it be like Cosmics is the fandom or something? Like, okay, what's the fandom?
Oh, I mean, kind of. So it's Ujung. Ujung's, yeah. But Wuju, which is the WJ and WJSN, means like cosmic or galactic.
Gotcha. So that's why universal. They get abbreviated as like Cosmic Girls. Okay.
Yeah. And
does
then
WJSN
Yukika,
the Black have a different?
No.
Okay. Yukika, all right. She's adorable. She's Japanese, and she does city pop. It's not something stupid like we're just like Yukikas.
It's extremely cute and similar to her name.
Similar to her name. I can't. I don't know well enough to.
Yummies.
Yeah.
It's spelled like YUMIZ.
Oh man,
so it's like Yumiz.
So I gotta go around and I'm yummies. A yummy. Oh, is there any that I actually have a fandom name that we didn't do?
No, that's all of them.
Dude, I'm so sorry to every Insomnia who watches this. Like, I love Dreamcatcher. Legitimately. Like, I am a massive fan of Dreamcatcher, and I don't know how I didn't remember that. I have what is described as like boomer brain sometimes. Like, I'm terrible with memory and things, like, which is funny because when it comes to guitar, I can memorize a lot of stuff permanently.
Yeah.
Anything else?
There's also that fifth of whiskey that you drank before the show. That's
In
playing in.
my 5 a.m. fifth of whiskey
Yeah.
before we did this. No. yeah, but I feel like this was a fun episode. This was a good one. A lot of you guys can obviously put your top 10s, down there in the comments. Your artist of the year. I'd like to see kind of how different everyone's opinion on that is. I'm sure it fluctuates a lot, but I know there might be some people who are like, you had to say BTS is the best this year because they outsold everyone. It's like that. Not everyone has the same requirement to what makes in their mind an artist of the year. It's not about sales.
And that's what makes the discussion so good, right? It's that everyone has their own metrics and their own criteria. And ultimately, there's some songs that you might have not thought about or not considered that now you want to check out. And equally, maybe there's some songs that you think that we missed that you can remind us of. I know there's already, I'm thinking of some. I should have given a shout out to Stardust by Yoonha, for example. That's a great song. And Naka by Akmu. Like, there's lots of things that were good this year that are worth.
IU My C, just want to throw that right there at the
TV. Right that was on my honorable mentions.
So I will say, you definitely introduced some people to On You, I think. Like, I definitely think I hope so. There's some people who have heard something new here. This has been like the bonus end of K-Pop Podcast episode 10. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Honan.
I'm Oliver.